In every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on Sports 56. Real sports talk.
Year-end means huge savings at Gossett Kia on the Pike with the season of giving back. How about 41 MPG for those holiday road trips? 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $229 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Family road trip, 2024 Kia Sportage LX with class-leading cargo room and rear seat legroom, $299 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And get where you're going for less in a 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, 134 City, 101 Highway MPGE, $379 a month, $49.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee. Must finance through Hyundai, Forte LXS, PE 694,095, MSRP 21,610, Sportage R722, 7239, MSRP 28,715, EVP 560, 3393, MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything. A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
They get up every morning from the long clocks, warning, take the 8:15 into the city.
I feel like it should be a day of celebration for everyone in Memphis. People should be getting the day off from work. No school today. The Grizzlies win. The Grizzlies win last night, taking care of the Utah Jazz. We will talk about that on the program today, along with everything else that's happening in the world of sports as we welcome you into Sports 56 Mornings on this final day of November, the Thursday, November 30th, 2023 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Their overstock sale continues. Go check them out at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And the first hour of the program is also brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware. Currently 40 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and it'll be cloudy throughout the day today. We are looking at showers, about a 40% this afternoon, 40% chance. And then tonight, it increases to about 90%. In fact, rainfall could be around a half an inch, looking at a low tonight of 48, and that rain will continue into Friday with showers at about 60%, but a high of 67 for your Friday. The high today at 59 degrees. Coming up on the program today, as I mentioned, we'll be talking Grizzlies and NBA as the Grizz get off to Schneid. College basketball, plenty of huge games last night. We're getting closer to Memphis, Ole Miss Saturday in Oxford. We got plenty of college football news as well. The all AAC teams were announced. We got some portal news. We have some coaching news to get into. NFL, the new week kicks off with a game tonight featuring Eli's Cowboys. We got that to dive into on the program. Brad Logan will join us at 8:25 to talk Ole Miss and Memphis, also where he expects the Ole Miss Rebels to land as far as a bowl game, more than likely the Citrus, but we'll get his thoughts on that. And then from 9 to 10, our program becomes the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. We will be joined by Harold Grader. We'll see if Harold knows anything more than what we all know right now, which is still nothing yet confirmed on the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game, but we'll find out, of course, on Sunday, Selection Sunday. We'll have our final Pick 6 of the year, so a chance for you to go up against one of us for Central Barbecue, but your last chance this year. And then at 9:25, former Memphis Tiger, Virginia Tech head coach Justin Fuente will join us on the program today. So another huge show lined up for you. You can hit us up on the Sports 56 listener lines by calling in or texting in at 901-360-8255. You can also drop us a line on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or on the website at sportsmemphis.com. That's your lineup for today. How are you?
I would define myself as splendid.
You should be. The city should be celebrating today. Zach, you were there. You fired up?
Yeah. It was a quick night, man.
Wasn't it quick? Okay, I was there for the first half, and I left because, obviously I got to get home, prepare for the show, get some sleep. I can't look this beautiful without sleep. I thought, wow, I'm out of here early.
Yeah. Like I had to check the time at the end of the game, because typically I'll leave the arena around 10.
Right.
And when I look at the time, it was still 9:30. I was like, what just happened?
And that's with the lights going out. How long was that delay? I was driving home when I heard Hasseltine talk about the lights being out.
Yeah, that was 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes.
Did they not pay their bill?
I hope so.
That was weird, man. All of a sudden to see the lights just gone. I was like, whoa. Hey, the basketball gods like, hey, if you guys are winning a game, we're going to shut the lights out on you then, dang it.
Exactly. It's like you're shooting too well right now. You need to return the lights off.
They shot the lights out. I mean, literally, it was a good all-around game. Look, I wasn't the only one who predicted a win. It had to happen sooner than later, right? It had to happen. Come on. Utah had beaten them twice, but Lauri Markkanen not in the lineup was huge. They ended up having Clarkson and they ended up having Olenek, and they were both questionable. But other than having Markkanen out of the lineup, it was the Utah Jazz that had beaten the Grizzlies twice. But there were a lot of differences in this one. And by the way, first home win of the season for the Grizzlies, who now improved to 4-13. But Taylor Jenkins made a lineup change. He put David Roddy in the starting lineup, and he put Derrick Rose in the starting lineup. He took out Gilliard, who did not play, and he used Santi coming off the bench. And it worked. David Roddy played one of his best games as a Grizz. He ended up with 19 points. He was hitting threes early. He went 5 of 9 from the field from 3, 7 of 11 from the field overall. He had 6 rebounds. He had a really strong game. And then there's Derrick Rose, who played nearly 27 minutes, hit 7 of 11 his shots from the field, did go for 3 from 3, but 7 of 11, got to the hole, at times looked like vintage Derrick Rose, had 4 rebounds. He had 9 assists for 14 points. So when you got Roddy and Rose combining for 33, and then you get solid games from Bane, I'll talk about his numbers in a second, and Jaren Jackson Jr., who was tremendous on the defensive end, plus you get contributions from a couple of the bench guys, Santi Aldama and Zaire Williams. Usually good things will happen, even though this roster remains depleted. They're playing a team that wasn't that good. So as long as you had that support coming off the bench and you had the starters produce, Eli, the equation, you add it all up, normally would be a dub, and last night they got it.
Yeah, it just looked they looked different last night. They looked like there was more energy. There's no doubt there was a more of an effort to attack the paint, and they end up with a season high in points in the paint. There kind of was more of a pep in their step, I guess. I don't know if it was the Marcus Smart thing that did this. What it was, maybe it was the fact that they didn't, dig themselves an early hole and kind of zap the energy out of the place. I don't know, but it felt like there was way more energy. Looked like they were having fun. Looked like things were, it just looked different. And whatever that is, they need to bottle that up and continue to go with that, because it certainly looked a lot better, and it was a lot more fun for everybody to watch that game last night.
I saw that too. I saw it too. And I wouldn't downplay what Marcus Smart did and the fact that Derrick Rose had also been vocal, especially about the way they played defense. Here he is inserted into the starting lineup. And you got Derrick Rose, who's not a spring chicken anymore, basketball years, playing as hard as he did. It's contagious. So, yes, I saw that too with this team. You also had a team that rebounded the basketball. They have struggled rebounding the basketball. They out-rebounded Utah 51-39. Again, without having Lauri Markkanen in there, that's a big void for Utah. But the Grizzlies took advantage of it. From a three-point standpoint, they hung in there with Utah. Utah was 16 of 39. They still shot the rock incredibly well, 41%. Memphis continues to struggle giving up three-pointers. But they went 13 of 39 themselves, 33%. Percentage obviously lower and 3 less, but it wasn't like they gave up 17 threes and had 5 of their own. Like I said, Roddy in the lineup, he was really good. Derrick Rose was a plus 20 in that game. That was the best of any player that played in that game. And it was nice to see Zaire Williams, who I'm still not sold on, but he went 6 of 8 from the field, 3 of 3 from 3, 15 points, added 8 rebounds. And how about Vince Williams? He only scored 3 points. He only took 3 shots, hit a 3. He had 8 rebounds. Taylor Jenkins only played 9 guys. And getting back to the big two, because right now, obviously, there's not a big 3, Des Bane, 17 points, but 9 assists. And then Jaren Jackson Jr., in 34 minutes and 40 seconds, went for 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 blocked shots.
No, he was the Block Panther last night. There's no doubt. That one series they had, it was a third quarter where he got a block, and then I think it was Biyombo got a block, and then the ball got loose, and the Jazz got it again. They thought they had a layup. Jaren came from behind and blocked that one as well. I love the fact that Jaren took 19 shots. Only 3 of them were threes. He was aggressive in attacking the basket. When Walker Kessler's not in the game, they don't really have anybody to protect the rim. So
right.
You should be attacking the rim against that team. The Grizzlies did that overall. Jaren did that. And yes, him and Bismack combining for 9 blocks between them. They protected the paint. They did what they were supposed to do. So, it was it. I'm glad the streamers still work. I don't know if they had to clean that out at some point during the season, just to do a test run to make sure and get the old ones out. Don't want to get jammed up, but yeah, it was good to see all of the good vibes returning to FedEx Forum.
Sure, a little dust came down with the streamers, maybe a little asbestos, but yeah, it was nice to see the dub. And I'm looking at these rebounds. I mentioned they out-rebounded Utah 51-39. But 9 players playing in this game for the Grizzlies. Roddy, 6 rebounds. Jackson, 6 rebounds. Biyombo, 6 rebounds. Bane, 7 rebounds. Rose, 4 rebounds. Off the bench, 8 rebounds for Zaire. 8 rebounds for Vince Williams. 4 rebounds for Santi, and a couple of rebounds for Jalen Noel. They all were crashing the boards. So I don't think it was a coincidence. There was desperation. They know they're losing games. They know they were winless at home. Marcus Smart's speech, Derrick Rose, what he had to say, the comments made by Anthony Edwards, I think fired up the fan base that was there. It wasn't a packed house, but they were loud. They really got into it, especially when the Grizzlies showed life early. Now, real early in the game, they fell behind. I'm like, oh, come on now. Come on. And then they came back and then took the lead, took command, and never looked back. They outscored the Jazz 36-17 in the second quarter. But again, for what it's worth, missing the players that they are missing, there's still talent on this team. And as I've said, as long as Jackson and Bane play really good games, that's not enough. You need a starter or 2 that's in the lineup, and the lineup changes seemingly every game, and then some bench support to win. And that's what they got last night. Yeah, albeit against a Utah team that's now 6-12, I understand. But they needed that win.
Well, there had to be I would hope, a little sense of
urgency.
Sense of urgency, but a sense of embarrassment that you lost. Like that you let the Jazz team had one road win on the year. It's on your floor. You can't let them come in and get a second.
Right.
Like you couldn't. This team racked up 70 points in the first half of both games you played against them. Like there needed to be like, listen, like come on. And then when they're without Lauri Markkanen, who has absolutely killed you in those games, like you should be like, okay, let's come on. I don't care who we're missing. Like this is the Utah Jazz. Let's go out there and actually represent ourselves with a little bit of pride and get a win against them on our home floor.
Exactly.
So don't go 0-2 against this team on our home floor to start the year. And I think there was a lot of things, but it was just good to see that energy level. Like there's no doubt that looked different than what most of the games this year have looked like.
Yeah.
Just from an energy level, an effort level, offense, defense, just the way they played, there was a noticeable difference between that game and most of the games this season.
Yeah, and like you said, can you bottle this thing up? Here's the deal, though. Even playing with that energy and even getting the production from the players that don't always produce, like a Zaire Williams who really produced, like a David Roddy who really produced, doesn't mean they're going to Dallas Friday and winning or Phoenix on Saturday and winning. But it gives them an opportunity. It gives them a chance, even without Ja and the rest of the walking wounded. It gives them a chance if they play like this. Now, we already know that they've added Detroit next Wednesday in Detroit, Minnesota a week from tomorrow at home. Houston, they got 2 more against them coming up in this stretch. I'm talking about the stretch before Ja returns. Houston's still winless on the road, even though they have been one of the surprise stories in the NBA and have already beaten the Grizzlies once. They are 0-8 away from home. Now, the Grizzlies were winless at home until last night. But it gives you a fighting chance. They're going to win in Detroit, I think. Detroit lost again last night. They've lost 15 straight games. 15 straight.
They're not very good.
They're 2-16. I think they're going to at least split with Houston. And again, I'm not going much out on a limb here, just like my prediction to win last night. But again, it's a Grizzlies team that's beat up and decimated by injuries. If they can find a way to win 2 more, I know it's hard. That's 4-4 in the final 8 games without Ja. Then they go 7-18. It's not good, but it gives them at least a fighting chance. 4 wins and 21 losses will be extremely tough. 3-22 was even worse, but they got the win last night. But they're winning against Detroit. I think they're going to split against Houston. Can they find a way to get 2 more? Like I said a moment ago, if they go into Dallas Friday and into Phoenix on Saturday, with this effort and that type of production, it doesn't guarantee a win, but it gives them a fighting chance.
No, I mean, obviously Dallas has played fantastic. One of the top teams in the West. Certainly Phoenix, we shall see who plays and who doesn't play. It's kind of a coin toss with them game to game of who plays. They took a loss last night to Toronto. But certainly if they've got their guys, or at least most of their guys, that's going to be a very difficult one as well. But the Houston game at home, you're going to have to win. Like there are certain games, like last night again, like that you can't go 0-3 against the Jazz. Like you just couldn't have the season series against the Jazz be 0-3 and lose twice on your home floor to a team that hasn't beaten anybody else on the road. Like Houston, you just got to win the game at home. Like you can't, because who knows, you'll. There's a good chance you might lose the game at their place because they're really good at home, or have been really good at home. So you don't want to go drop the first 3 against Houston either. Like these are teams you can't be just like losing every time you play them.
Absolutely.
Whether you whatever roster you throw on the floor, you can't be losing every time you play these teams.
You mentioned the Suns losing last night to the Raptors on the road. Suns, excuse me. Suns are now 11-7. I was surprised to see their record is that good. They have not had the big 3 together, one time?
I think they played one together. Yeah,
Booker, Beal, and Durant. Durant returned last night from injury. He's been playing more than the other 2. Obviously, Beal's been out pretty much the whole season, and Booker's missed a bunch of time. So you got them on Saturday. On Friday, Dallas. Dallas has played well, but who knows? Kyrie going to be taking a day off? Is Doncic going to be taking a day off? Last night, as I mentioned, the Pistons lose again. The final score, Lakers 133, Pistons 107. So the Lakers, after getting beat by, 44 by Philadelphia?
Yes, I believe it was 44.
They bounced back.
46, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And they bounce back and win by 26. Some nail-biters when the Lakers play, winning at Detroit. I don't get it. I don't get the whole thing with Detroit. I mean, it seems like they have enough talent to be able to win some games, but 2-16. I know Bogdanovich is hurt, but you have Jaden Ivey wasn't even starting. I don't know what's going on with the Pistons, but they were a loser last night. Also in the NBA last night, Pelicans get a win over the Sixers, 124-114. Jokic returns, triple-double for Nikola, 134-124 over the Rockets. And the Clippers get a nice win at the Kings, 131-117. So we talked a little bit yesterday towards the end of the show about the Josh Giddey situation and how it's a completely different scenario than what it was with Franco, with the Major League Baseball and the way they handled that situation. Yesterday, the news came down from, forget what county it was, in California, was it? Where they are doing the investigation. But TMZ, they're everywhere, they reported that the parents of the girl who supposedly had the sexual encounter with Josh Giddey and is underage refuse to cooperate with authorities. I'm a little puzzled here. Okay, if that girl is underage, I mean, I don't know what kind of parents they are. I don't know who they are. I mean, maybe they think, hey, she bagged an NBA player. She bagged a guy with a lot of money. I don't know what the situation is, but if she is underage and the parents aren't cooperating, I don't even get it. Like, what kind of life are you presenting for your underage child here? I don't know all the details. Nobody knows all the details, but I'm really surprised that, according to TMZ, they're refusing to cooperate. Now, I don't know if they're going to be forced to cooperate. I don't know how that all works with law enforcement when it comes to something like that, but that's the situation with Giddey. In the meantime, he'll continue to play.
Yeah, and the NBA is doing their own investigation here. It's a weird situation just by the fact that they're just, again, to see the Wander Franco situation be complete opposite of this, two different leagues doing things completely differently in a very similar situation, is just a little weird. And for him and for Oklahoma City just to continue to basically say it's a personal matter and we're kind of out of this thing is just, it's a little bit strange.
Yeah, the police, I was mentioning where they are in Newport Beach, California. So that's where it's at. I guess that's where she's from. Maybe that's where the alleged incident all took place, or the encounter, Newport Beach, California. All right, we need to take a timeout. We'll come back. We will open up the Sports 56 listener lines to you. We'll get into the college basketball night from last night, and boy, it was a doozy. How about that ACC-SEC challenge ending in a 7-7 tie? We will discuss that. We got plenty of college football news to get into, including coaching news and portal news. We'll talk some NFL as well. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just one pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
Memphis' oldest restaurant, Coletta's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Coletta's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletta's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletta's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletta's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletta's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletta's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee must finance through Hyundai. Forte LXS PE 694,095, MSRP 21,610. Sportage R722, 7239, MSRP 28,715. EVP 560, 3393, MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit. Dealer stock only. Got Jeff Allen here from Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah. Hey, Jeff, you ready for the holidays with the season of giving back?
I'm ready to give out some great holiday gifts and save you some big bucks. Perfect for the holiday road trips. 41 MPG Highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $229 a month. $27.99 due at signing. Or a big family that needs more room? 2024 Kia Sportage LX with class-leading cargo room and rear seat leg room, $299 a month. $34.99 due at signing.
What about an EV?
2023 Kia EV6 Wind, 134 City, 101 Highway, MPGE, $379 a month. $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
The way they live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. An accident with some minor injuries over here on Austin P Highway southbound. Trying to get onto I-40. It's really crowded there this time of the morning as it is. Traffic's on the increase out of Fayette County on 40 westbound here at Canada Road. Chambers Chapel headed west on I-40 towards Germantown Parkway. Don't miss the Enchanted Garden of Lights this holiday season at Rock City in Chattanooga. Log on to searockcity.com. I'm Commander Chug with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I got a little change in my pocket going jingle-lang-a-lang. Won't you call, you won't
Plenty of good action in college basketball last night. The ACC SEC Challenge continued. And what a win for Arkansas at Bud Walton Arena. Before a record 20,344, they knocked off Duke 80-75, which, of course, is good in turn for Memphis, since Memphis beat Arkansas. It was the 100th win at Arkansas for Coach Eric Musselman. Chandler Lawson, the former Tiger, chipped in, was really good defensively, 8 rebounds, 6 blocks, and they hold off the Dukies again. 20,344 at Bud Walton Arena.
Yeah, it was rocking. That place looked nuts, man. It looked fun. That was the old days of Nolan Richardson. I mean, it was just absolutely bonkers in that place. And, they do it without Tremont Mark, their leading scorer as well. So huge win for them. Huge win for Eric Musselman. Trayvon Brazil was great. Khalif Battle off the bench was fantastic for them. And, nice, really nice win, and certainly a good win for the Tigers. Helps that resume as Arkansas. You want Arkansas to pick up as many wins as you can. They should pick up a lot of wins as the year goes along. That win should end up being a quad one win at the end of the year, but this one certainly goes a long way towards hoping that.
You mentioned Nolan. Was Nolan there, or was it just a video message?
I don't know. I did not see him. I was flipping back and forth at the Grizzlies game, so I don't know. I did not see whether he was there or not.
Yeah, I was at the Grizzlies game, but I remember last night, I think it was on ESPN.
Heck, it took forever for them to get that game on because the North Carolina Tennessee game, I think it took 3 hours.
That in a second.
I think it took 3 hours to play that game. Like it wouldn't end. Like it was just like over. I mean, come on, quit fouling. At some point, let's just get this game over with. Like the Duke Arkansas came. I can't remember how much time was left in the first half when they finally. Now they had started on ESPN News or whatever, but when it finally came on ESPN, like it was like 40 minutes late getting that game on.
Wow, it's the opposite of what we talked about with the Grizzlies game being quick last night. But yeah, I guess it was on SportsCenter and saw.
Somebody says Nolan was there.
He was there. Okay, and that's great for him. To still have that connection. I know there were some rocky years after he was let go, but Nolan Richardson is a beloved figure. Let's just put it that way in Fayetteville. And last night, as you said, that place was rocking. So Arkansas gets a win. And as you mentioned, Tennessee and North Carolina. Tennessee put up, 61 in the first half? No, I'm sorry, North Carolina?
North Carolina put up
at Tennessee. And I wonder what that crowd was. I don't know what that announced attendance was, but I guarantee you that place was packed as well.
That wasn't at Tennessee. That was at North Carolina.
Oh, it was in Chapel Hill.
Yes,
okay. I didn't know that. I didn't get a chance to see that. But it was number 17 North Carolina knocking off number 10 Tennessee 100-92 in a high-scoring affair. As you mentioned, that game seemed to go forever. Dalton Knecht, who is tremendous at 37-6. And then, again, I didn't see this. I just read that he went out with after rolling his ankle. Did he ever get back into the game?
No.
Did they ever talk about the status? Do they know?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there was only like 2 minutes left of the game.
Okay, so it was very late in the game?
He stepped on a foot of a defender and rolled the ankle, and he tried to get up, but then went right back down. So they've got, I think, like a week off before they play again, but certainly that's what his situation is huge for them because he was awesome as far as scoring the basketball goes last night. He's been awesome all year.
And can play defense.
He matched Lionel Simmons for the most points ever by an opponent at the Dean Dome. The idea of
L-Train.
The idea of them giving up 61 points in a half, like that first half was a clinic by North Carolina. Like Tennessee, even after giving up 100 last night, is still number 3 in Ken Palm's defensive efficiency rating.
That's how good they were.
And they give up 61 points. North Carolina, it just felt like never missed a shot. They did whatever they wanted to do. It was just an absolute clinic of offensive basketball.
Well, look, Tennessee prides itself on defense. Rick Barnes prides itself on defense, just like Penny Hardaway does with Memphis. But good offense beats good defense, in my opinion. If you got guys that are on fire, and I mean multiple guys out there that are shooting the rock that well, just like it was for Villanova in the first half against Memphis. It is tough to defend when players are on the floor knocking down shots like it's going out of style. So Tennessee takes one on the chin to North Carolina, 100-92.
For Tennessee, I mean, I guess there's some solids. In fact, they put up 92 with Santiago Vescovi getting 0, who he was in foul trouble and played 14 minutes. He was just never part of that game. Ziegler did get going a little bit offensive line last night. He still He has struggled mightily to make any shots. He was able to get a little bit going offensively last night, but certainly with Ziegler and Vescovy not doing much, and you're able to still put up 92 points, there you got to take some satisfaction in that. But defensively, yeah, that is going to. Rick Barnes said that was the worst half of basketball. I think what was it? He said it was the worst half of basketball that they have played since he's been at Tennessee. That first half.
Yeah, when you pride yourself on defense and you give up 61 and a half, I could understand why he said that. So the SEC-ACC Challenge ends up 7-7. Very good. Yeah. Very competitive.
And some really good matchups, and it was fun. You know, obviously the replacement for the SEC for the Big Ten Challenge, the ACC, the Big Ten Challenge. And so it's nice, and they created some good matchups, and it was a lot of fun over the 2 nights to see that. They were doing it on the women's side as well. So we're in a run right now, and I guess I don't know if they do it. I guess maybe it's somewhat on purpose because you get football kind of over with for the most part, but like we are getting some fantastic college basketball matchups. Mm-hmm. Like North Carolina's got Connecticut coming up. They've got Kentucky coming up. Obviously, they just played Tennessee. You know, Tennessee, this run they've just gone on where now part of it was the tournament where it worked out that way, but you play the number 1, number 2, and now, well, North Carolina fell in the rankings. But, I mean, we're getting some great matchups right now in college basketball. I still wish these were all earlier, like right when basketball starts to kind of burst onto the scene, but at least we are getting some really good non-conference matchups in college basketball right now.
Some other games of note last night. Number 18, Villanova loses to St. Joe's 78-65. There's a lot of people on Twitter wondering, how can that happen? This is a Villanova team that beat Carolina. They beat Memphis. They are obviously a good team, but I don't know if people understand what the Big Five is. The Big Five in Philadelphia is just competitive as hell, and it doesn't matter who you are. Temple and LaSalle played a triple overtime game last night. But St. Joe's is a good team. They're a good team. Plus, it's the Big Five. So these are rivalry games. Villanova's only other previous loss was to Penn, another one of the Big Five teams in Philadelphia. So it's not a shocker that they lost to St. Joe's.
Yeah, on the surface, their schedule just looks weird when you've got wins over North Carolina, Memphis, Maryland, Texas Tech, and losses to St. Joe's and Penn. But it's, the Big Five is a big deal. And especially for the teams that aren't Villanova, when you get a chance to play Villanova in that, that's the big deal. They are the clear big of the Big Five. So that's everything for those other schools to be able to knock off Villanova right now.
Villanova's great outside of playing any team from Philadelphia. So look out if they got Drexel on the schedule coming up. They're not part of the Big Five, but they are a Philadelphia team.
The Big Five is now 6.
It's always going to be Big Five to me. I grew up with that. Really? Did they say that? That Drexel's part of the...
Mm-hmm.
Come on. That's stretching it. It was the Big Five for years and years and years and years. So they're going to let little Drexel in. Okay. Good for them. Late last night, USC won. No surprise over Eastern Washington. Bronny James still not on the court playing, but Boogie Ellis is. The former Memphis Tiger, 28 points last night, 8 of 10 from 3.
Good for Boogie.
He has put together a nice career. Does Boogie Ellis, does his game translate to the NBA?
I don't.
He's not a big guy.
So. He's too small.
Is it more like a Kendrick Davis thing with Boogie Ellis? Probably less of a defensive player than Davis. Davis not great, but
I mean, Boogie's just. I mean, he's just kind of a shooting guard that scores, and at his size of the NBA, that's not going to be.
Unless you're Dame Lillard, unless you're special, unless you're Trae Young.
Well, yeah, those are. I mean, I don't think Boogie's really a point guard. Boogie's a 2. Those guys are point guards. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he is simply a scorer.
He's a tweener. I mean, obviously he has some handles, but he has elevated his game since going to Southern California, leaving Memphis. Then we had the weirdo story of the night. Louisville, who continues to struggle under Kenny Payne. Who was it, Bellarmine they played last night?
Bellarmine.
got by them, beat them. Big battle against Bellarmine.
They lost to him last year.
Yeah, I remember that.
Bellarmine's good.
Because I remember asking you about how to pronounce the name.
Bellarmine's good.
Bellarmine's good again this year?
They're pretty much good every year. Like for their level, like they're pretty much. They were always a great Division II team. They're usually pretty darn good for whatever level they play at.
But normal Louisville should be beating them, never losing to them. They should be beating them. Could you imagine Memphis playing UT Martin all the time? UT Martin's good or whatever they are. Whoever you could throw in there that's a smaller school and they're losing to them, or the games are going down to the wire. People would go crazy. Well, yesterday, if you missed it, Kenny Payne, after the game, talking about Tyler Johnson, who had committed to Memphis. Do you remember? Zach, do you remember with Tyler Johnson? Did he sign with him, commit to him? I forget what the situation was, but he was connected to Memphis. So this is Kenny Payne after the game talking about Tyler Johnson. Quote, I probably shouldn't tell you this. You're already in trouble when you say that. We didn't have the tights that he wanted, Payne said. So he didn't know if he wanted to play. Oh, yeah, you heard it. We didn't have the tights that he wanted, that we've never had for him. And he decided, I don't feel like I can go. That's what young people do, end quote. So he ended up playing. And I know young people today, it's a whole different world. But are you kidding me? Really? Are you kidding me? How do you earn the respect of your coaches, the fan base, a lot of your teammates? I'm sure everybody's not crying over tights. What the hell's that?
I do not know. But he also said like they haven't ever had those tights. So
that's what he said.
I don't know.
All of a sudden he wants tights, okay, and they don't even carry those tights. They don't even have them.
Yeah, that's a first. That's a new one on me.
Larry Bird and Michael Jordan are rolling over in their graves. Oh, no, that's right. They're not dead, but they're rolling over somewhere. And reading something like this.
And again, obviously Louisville should be, but the Bellarmine Louisville would be the same thing as the St. Joe's and those playing Villanova in Philadelphia. Like you've got Big Brother in your city. Like it's everything for Bellarmine to beat Louisville.
Now, okay, I'll give it to you now because Villanova has become this quasi blue blood, okay? But for years and years and years and years, Villanova wasn't well above the other four. In fact, there were many years where they were behind. When I grew up, it was more like Penn.
I'm not talking about when you grew up. I'm talking about now. Like those teams for Villanova. Villanova to them is what Louisville would be to Bellarmine.
Yes, but there's no history of Bellarmine years ago dominating Louisville. And what I'm saying is, in the Big Five, all bets are off. There have been times that other teams have absolutely dominated. There was times when LaSalle dominated. Temple has obviously dominated for years and years and years. Penn was really, really special for a long time. St. Joe's with Phil Martelli had those great years. And now it is Villanova. You're right. The four of them, five of them, if you include Drexel, look up to Villanova and go, that's the king. We got to knock them off. But it's only been maybe the last decade. Big Five basketball has been going on for decades and decades and decades and decades. I don't know the history of Bellarmine. I'm not going to pretend to. But I would imagine that Louisville, I don't know how many times they've played them. Louisville is always been.
Well, Bellarmine just became Division I. I'm not saying like this game is going to mean a ton to Bellarmine. They've just become Division I. They couldn't go to the NCAA tournament just a few years ago because of the transition when they won the conference. But this is like now they're Division I. They're on theoretically even playing field with Louisville. Like that's a big deal for them to play Louisville. It's going to mean everything for them to beat Louisville.
No question, but it's not comparable. The Bellarmine Louisville comparison to Villanova and the other Big Five teams is not. It's not a comparable thing. This is a whole different ballgame. Those teams
big school playing little school, same city. Team with tradition of success versus teams with very little tradition of success playing that school. It's going to mean more to them.
They're not little schools. Villanova's little.
I'm talking about in the world of college basketball. Villanova is a much bigger deal than all of the others.
It's not comparable.
They've won multiple national championships in the last decade.
I understand.
Like, they're the big boy.
Yes, they are. But there's a history where they weren't always the big boy.
These kids playing there today don't care about what happened 40 years ago. They look at what they are today.
I'm telling you. I know the Big Five history as well as anybody.
I'm not talking about the history of it. The kids playing at St. Joe today know Villanova today.
Yes.
It's going to mean a lot more to them to beat Villanova than it is for the kids at Villanova to beat the kids at St. Joe's.
Yes, but it's not. Okay. We'll agree to disagree on this one. I know what you're saying. Yes, and I agree with you as far as right now is concerned. Absolutely. But there's no history with Bellarmine. Like you said, they just moved into Division I. So it's not a good comparison to what we're talking about with Big Five. Because history does matter. History matters in comparing that to something where there's the only history has been the last couple of years.
At those schools right now, the history doesn't matter.
To the players,
and that's who's winning the game today and playing the game today.
I understand. But we're on two different paths here of trying to compare these two things. There is a Big Five that, yes, has existed for decades and decades and decades and decades. And Villanova was just one of those 5 teams. Now Villanova, yes, is the dominant team of those 5. But my point is that on any given night, and that has been proven, that these teams can beat Villanova and do beat Villanova. Because in the Big Five, all bets are off. It's just something special. It's like the Iron Bowl. Auburn almost beat Alabama. It's an Auburn team that just lost by 3 touchdowns to New Mexico State because it's the damn Iron Bowl. There's something about those games and that Big Five that's special, that's different.
This side of the program is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware, located at the corner of Quince and White Station in East Memphis. You can go by and see them for whatever it is you need to get done, whatever supplies you might need for some DIY project. Well, they can take care of you. They got a great staff to help you along the way in finding exactly what it is you might need, and probably can help you with that project as well. Of course, the Big Green Egg and all the egg accessories, they've got that for you. They're a platinum dealer of the Big Green Egg. They got everything you need when it comes to that, including all the different sizes of the egg and those accessories, plus other grills. They've got all the stuff you need for your leaf pickup this time of year. Get that stuff done around the yard, whatever it is. The folks at East Memphis Ace Hardware have what you need and a great staff to help you find it. Corner of White Station and Quince, East Memphis Ace Hardware.
We got a lot of college football to talk about, news from on the field, off the field. It's all coming up as we continue on Sports 56 Mornings right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Uncorn flavor, Corky's barbecue. We're cooking it up, down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days. A whole lot of good eating is waiting for you. Our Memphis barbecue tradition, you'll love what we do. Uncorn flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Hi, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. I am honored that so many Memphians trust Corky's to serve our hickory smoked turkeys and spiral sliced honey glazed hams to their families for Thanksgiving and Christmas. This year, let us make it even easier with our holiday feast. Ham or turkey and gravy, and your choice of 2 of our southern sides. Cornbread dressing, sweet potato casserole, mac and cheese, or baked potato casserole. Reserve yours today at corkysbbq.com before we sell out.
Uncorn flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Let's end this year with a bang with Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. You want huge savings? We Gossett. The awards keep coming for the world's first and best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV, 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, 420 total range and PGE. We Gossett at $299.96 a month. Plus, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, buy for $26,850 or $379 a month. Plus, IIHS top safety pick in seat 7, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, $32,185 or $399 a month. All equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ062 MSRP 44,355, 84 months, 500 military and conquest or loyalty rebate. Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33,185. Sport RU 00104, MSRP 27,850. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year. Featuring the Callaway Paradigm Woods, forged carbon for unparalleled distance and forgiveness. Now up to $100 off. And from Bushnell, the new Tour B6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards in any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home with a 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Memphis' oldest restaurant, Colette's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Colette's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Colette's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Colette's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Colette's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Colette's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Colette's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I had no idea that the Villanova Arena changed its name. It's called the Finneran. Did you know that? The Finneran Pavilion. Used to be the DuPont Pavilion. I guess when that guy went absolutely nuts and killed the dude, the Olympic wrestler. Remember the DuPont? You ever watch the movie with Steve Carell? No. He played that DuPont guy who was weird, and he shot the former great wrestler. I can't remember his name. I guess they got rid of that name pretty quickly. So it's the Finneran Pavilion. And good on you with Drexel. This is the first year, 23-24, they added that team for whatever reason to the Big Five.
I just did a game of one of the Big Five members.
Oh, you had that in your notes? Okay. I had to be reason. I'm like, how does Savoy know that about Drexel?
And Villanova's lost a total of 2. Before this year, they lost 2 games in 9 years.
No, what I say, the last decade, absolutely, I agree with you 100%. I'm just saying the Big Five has a history, and that's why you have Penn beating Villanova, St. Joe's beating Villanova, because they get amped for those games. All right, Ole Miss-Memphis game Saturday at the Pavilion, officially sold out. So I don't know how you want to get tickets if you're still wondering if you can. I guess there's a way on the open market, but as far as going up to the box office or through any of the Ticketmaster type places, you're out of luck. Sports Illustrated has named its Sportsman of the Year, Sports Person of the Year, I guess officially. It's Deion Sanders. Prime time. Prime was the story of the first month of the college football season, obviously the off season as well, but there was no bigger story in college football, and that thing kind of just dissipated as time went on. But Sportsman of the Year, we're not talking about like the college football story of the year, sports person of the year in college football. We're talking about the sports person of the year in 2023. Interesting.
Yeah, he had a lot of, he caused a lot of conversation, a lot of everything with the way he came in, changed the roster. Early on, they were, on national, they were the national game of the week, one way or another, on one of the two channels, basically, for the first 5 weeks of the season, I think. It's going to be, there's a lot of talk now about, because he's losing some commitments from some big-time recruits. Their recruiting class continues to slide down. Obviously, he'll be in the transfer portal. There's some talk that his son, Shadur, is going to come back for another year. I don't believe that will happen, but I guess there is a possibility with NIL money and the fact that you're playing for your dad. Maybe he decides to do it for one more year. But what is he able to do going into next year? Because now that it was a great story to just get, when you take a one-win team and win any games, it's great. Now, a full year, having got all the attention, everything else, what does that turn itself into going forward will be the big question.
For whatever reason, he rubs a lot of people the wrong way. I like him. I like what he did. I like the brashness of him. He's always been that way. Saw a clip the other night. I forget what I was watching. It was draft night. And he talked about, he's just with his gold chains and everything about how much it's going to cost for him to do. He's a different guy, and I like it. I like the guy. Seems like he's a good family man. He's a terrific father. I don't care. Like you said, they were terrible. Yes, it was a start that was shot out of a cannon, and it was a fizzle finish to the season. Now you have guys like Adam Zagoria, friend of the show, who said the coach of a 4-8 football team, 1-8 in the Pac-12, is the SI Sports Person of the Year. Tough week for a once proud journalistic institution. Now, I'm not saying he would be my pick, but I'd have to think about who it would be. But I don't have a problem with it because it's beyond just the wins and losses. He turned a institution on its head, a college football world that has been around forever. He made it his. For good, for bad, whatever the reason is, like him, don't like him. He's polarizing. I understand that. But I give him a lot of credit because we talked about him every single day for a long time. For a long time. It's just like we talk all the time about Travis Kelce now. A lot of it because of who he is on the field, but a lot of it because of his relationship with Taylor Swift. More movement in college football, the transfers, even though not official until Monday. That starts the window, December 4th. But the word is that KJ Jefferson, although I think he went to social media and said he's not 100% or hasn't been confirmed yet, but most people believe he's moving on from Arkansas. Grayson McCall is leaving Coastal Carolina, and all the things he said about Coastal Carolina, staying there. What did he say? I bleed. What's their color? Coastal?
Teal, I guess.
Yeah, I bleed teal or something. He's on the move. Riley Leonard from Duke, really good if he could stay healthy, on the move. Max Johnson reportedly is going to head to the University of North Carolina. Again, nothing official yet until Monday the 4th. Matt Rule, head coach of Nebraska, said that a quarterback in the portal, a good quarterback in the portal, doesn't say great, a good quarterback in the portal will cost the team $1 million to $2 million.
Yeah, that's why you're going to see pretty much all of these guys at least go into the portal. Just because you go into the portal doesn't mean you're absolutely have to leave. Like, you could come back, but it's testing the free agency market. you get into the portal and see what's out there, and quarterback position obviously is a very valuable one. So if you're one of these quarterbacks, why not get yourself in the portal, see what offers you could come up with, what money might be out there for you, and if you don't like it, then you can go back to where you were. But Riley Leonard, the talk is he's going to go to Notre Dame. I don't know what Notre Dame got Sam Hartman last year, but Riley Leonard seems to be. It looks like he's going to follow those footsteps. But yeah, these quarterbacks, you got to find out what's out there.
Which makes you think about the situation at the University of Memphis. And I know what Seth Hennigan said, but I also know that he's going to at least look at things. I know that he said, quickly, kind of a leading question after the game against, I don't know if it was the final game. I think it was the final game, maybe the second to last game, but whatever it was. Kind of a leading question about whether he's coming back. And he says he's coming back. We had the interview with him after the game on the field at Temple, and Wolo's talking to him. And the way he answered the question to me was, I think, again, I'm trying to get into his head. I'm pretty much coming back, but you would be foolish not to at least look at things. And that's why it's pivotal, as Ryan Silverfield says, to get this NIL increased at the University of Memphis. Because if Matt Rule is saying good quarterbacks go for $1 million to $2 million, Seth Hennigan is going to own all the records at the University of Memphis, assuming he stays here. He's a good quarterback. Memphis don't got that kind of money. But again, he's a coach's son, a little bit different kind of philosophy to everything. You want to finish what you start, that type of stuff. But it's also 2023 going into 2024, and probably not going to be an NFL quarterback. He wants to monetize, you would think, just like most players want to do. So he's going to, I'm sure, look at the situation. And I guarantee you that their school's going to be coming at him. So this is pivotal for all you Tiger fans out there that have deep pockets and are part of giving to the university. Think about what you're doing as far as the NIL is concerned, because you're going to need some money to retain some of these players. I'm not saying that Seth is leaving or he's leaning toward that. I'm just saying that in this day and age, I think all players are looking at all their options. All right, when we come back, hour two, we're going to continue talking college football. Got some college coaching news to get into as well. We'll go over the all AAC teams that were announced after we wrapped up the show yesterday. We'll take your calls and texts, and then we'll talk some Ole Miss Memphis with Brad Logan at 8:25. Coming up at 9, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour, including a visit with Justin Fuente, former Tigers and Virginia Tech head coach. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 at 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Want to play a private country club but only pay daily greens fees? Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis is your place. You can now play a beautiful, challenging course for only $59 plus tax, including cards. Meadowbrook Country Club features champion Bermuda greens and now is available to everyone. A membership is only $350 per month and includes tennis, pickleball, and swimming, plus a great restaurant and bar. Golf Pro Mark can even fix you up with custom-made tricks on clubs. Call 870-394-4186 today for your Tuesday through Sunday tee time at Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis.
It doesn't matter if you're at the lake, if you're hunting, fishing, playing golf, or just playing around, Scooters Plus can hook you up with the mobility that you need. Scooters Plus has the largest vehicle and parts inventory in the Mid-South and the best service department. You can choose from ATVs, UTVs, golf carts, motorcycles, dirt bikes, trikes, scooters, and even electric bikes. Come in today to start or wrap up your holiday shopping with 25% down on Christmas layaways. Scooters Plus, 3425 Summer Avenue. Call Sam at 458-8843 or go online to scootersplus.us.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry, and they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Bartlett Small Engine has free pickup and delivery both at your home and curbside for lawnmowers, blowers, edgers, and any small engine. Call 901-386-9779.
Wow, I feel good. Shopping at DriveMax. DriveMax, you get value.
Need a car that screams I feel good? DriveMax has it all. From cars to SUVs, find a tightly inspected used car that'll have you dancing all the way home. Call 901-664-2424 or visit DriveMaxApproval.com.
DriveMax, I got approved.
When the weather gets better, I found a new place to really soak it in. It's the patio at the Commissary in Collierville. We all love the delicious Memphis-style barbecues. You can begin your barbecue fest with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos. Oh, those smoked chicken wings, they're terrific too. Then dig into the ribs or the barbecue shoulder. Get it chopped or pulled on a sandwich. A big sandwich, or you can get it on a plate. You've got choice, and you've got choice in places. Don't forget the Germantown Commissary as well. Comes with beans and slaw, deviled eggs they're famous for. And Brad, you can even order by the pound, a 6-pack or an 8-pack or even a 12-pack. The Boss Man salad, the chicken plate, the barbecue shrimp. There's something for everybody, and those great desserts. The best icebox lemon pie anywhere. Or my favorite, the banana pudding. Check out the patio, TVs for sports, and music on the weekends. You love the Commissary.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Wrapping up an earlier wreck with some paperwork over here on 40 westbound at Sycamore View Road. It is still heavy over here on 40 west, traveling between Germantown Parkway and Sycamore View Road. Starting to bunch up sometimes on Bill Morris Parkway going westbound here at Ridgeway, trying to get up on that ramp there at the 240. 240 still checks out okay over here at Mill Branch. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry at 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store. Shop local this holiday season at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:05 the time, hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Thursday, November 30th, 2023 edition. It's Happy Grizzlies win day after the Grizz get a dub last night, 105-91 over the Utah Jazz. The home crowd got to go home happy. First home win of the season. Family Leisure Studios is where we're at. Family Leisure is located at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Their overstock sale continues just in time for Christmas. Looking for some holiday gifts? Check out what they have to offer at Family Leisure. Currently 41 degrees. We're looking at cloudy skies and some showers are in the forecast for today. About a 40% chance this afternoon. Looking at a high of 59. Then tonight, a low of 48 with periods of rain. About 90% chance tonight, and that rain will continue into tomorrow. About a 60% chance for your Friday. Second hour of the program is brought to you each and every day by our friends at James Gaddis Jewelers. And tonight is the night. I have given you the chance. I have invited you. James has really, but I've been passing along the information. To come tonight to the Jingle and Gems holiday party at James Gaddis Jewelers. You can sip, you can savor, and you can shop. It's a night filled with live entertainment, festive cocktails, and savory bites while shopping their newest arrivals just in time for the holidays. You can create your personal wish list. Let the elves at James Gaddis Jewelers do the work. Tonight from 5 until 8 at James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. Yesterday, the American Conference announced their all AAC teams. Coach of the Year, Willie Fritz, Tulane, no surprise there. Offensive Player of the Year, Michael Pratt from Tulane. Defensive Player of the Year, Trey Moore, the UTSA linebacker. Memphis had two players on the first team, running back Blake Watson, linebacker Chandler Martin, both players picked up in the transfer portal this last offseason by Coach Silverfield and his staff. Second team, Seth Hennigan, Rock Taylor, Jalen Allen, Xavier Hill. Third team, Jacob Likes and Simeon Blair. And then honorable mention, Jeffrey Canton Arku. Pretty good showing for Memphis.
Yeah, not bad at all. I actually would, to me, I think Rhett Lashley should be Coach of the Year, but nonetheless.
I could go for that. No can do. No, I can go for that, seriously. Willie Fritz seems to be the easy pick, but Rhett Lashley, certainly. I think he did a heck of a job. How about Goldish with what he did at South Florida? With the turnaround from South Florida from last year to this year? I mean, if you really look deep into it,
he did a good job. There's no doubt he did a good job. I mean, Fritz took a team that went to a New Year's Six bowl game, he has a quarterback back. Now they did lose Spears. They certainly had the guys to replace.
Right.
But Lashley had to replace his quarterback who left in the transfer portal, as well as a lot of other pieces, and still went undefeated in conference play. To me, I think Rhett Lashley did a hell of a job.
He did, but they also had a lot of money to spend in the portal, so they were able to get some players from big-time programs on that SMU team, but it doesn't take away the job he did as a coach. Speaking of coaches, and speaking of Willie Fritz, there are reports out there that Houston, and I'm sure there's other coaches that they're looking at, but the list includes Willie Fritz, Jeff Traylor from UTSA, and our friend Barry Odom. What a job he did at UNLV. Let's say it was just those three, and you can get any one of those three. Which one are you taking at Houston?
Willie Fritz.
Willie Fritz? I would go Willie Fritz, number one. Jeff Traylor, number two. Barry Odom, number three. All very good, but you know my philosophy with the offensive coaches and defensive coaches. Now, quite honestly, is Traylor an offensive coach or defensive coach? I don't even know.
Well, he was a high school coach before he went there, so I don't know what his
forte is. Yeah, but I've always liked Traylor. All three of them, I don't think you can go wrong if you're Houston. Willie Fritz has had the offers before. He's had the overtures. I don't know. Of course, you had the Indiana opening. The Indiana opening is interesting. We talked about that yesterday. Ryan Silverfield's name. There are so many names on that list. Tom Herman's name's on that list. Justin Fuente's name's on that list. And Justin will be joining us at 9:25. Is Justin ready to get back into coaching? We will talk to him about that.
The thing with Willie Fritz is, as I brought up, if Michael Pratt does decide to play another year of college football, which he can, if Fritz leaves, does Michael Pratt go with him? What does Michael Pratt want to do if he does indeed decide to play one more year of college football? So
right.
If you could add Willie Fritz and Michael Pratt, might be a nice little package deal.
Yes, that is an ultimate package deal. Yeah, that's right. Michael Pratt has another year that he can come back. And, it used to be a guy like Michael Pratt is going to get an opportunity in the NFL. He's going to get an opportunity. He's not going to be one of the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks selected. But he could easily be 7, 8, somewhere down the line. But now with NIL and the opportunity to cash in pretty handsomely, you're more apt to stay, try to help your stock, increase your stock while being paid very well. So it makes a lot of sense if you have that extra year to exercise that, unless you're Caleb Williams, who could come back, but I think that would be foolish to come back. I'm not going to say he's going to get exposed. He's a good quarterback, a really good quarterback. But you go to the Big Ten, you're going to face some more formidable defenses than you did in the Pac-12. You faced a few in the Pac-12, but I think more consistently in the Big Ten.
A texter text in on the Sports 56 listener line. Says, gentlemen, I'm not sure who he's referring to. I'll assume it's us, but you're using that term very loosely. What would you do if Michigan is 13-0 and Washington, Oregon, Florida State, Georgia, Alabama, and Texas are all 12-1? Who are your 4 teams?
Well, Michigan's in.
Be Michigan. That means Oregon would have beaten Washington, so Oregon is in. And then me personally, I would probably go Texas and Georgia.
All right, so again, with his scenario, Bama beats Georgia, Oregon beats Washington, Florida State loses to Louisville, Texas beats Texas Tech. Am I right with this? That'll get all those with one loss, and Michigan's undefeated.
I would go Texas and Alabama. I said Texas, Georgia. Texas and Alabama, because that would be Alabama winning the SEC championship game.
That is tough, and this is what I'm rooting for. Chaos, 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 chaos. What's going to happen is the 4 undefeated teams will all win and make it real easy on that committee. I want it tough on the committee.
I mean, in this situation, to me, you just take all the conference champions other than Louisville, who's not in the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from. The argument continues, or at least the discussion about best versus most deserving. Everybody I have spoken to, and people with a brain, would say it's the most deserving. You look at the entire resume for the total season, and you establish the 4 from that criteria. Bill Hancock, who is a very intelligent man, friend of the show, like him a lot. I don't get it. I don't understand by saying, no, it's the best. We're going to get the best. Well, are you correlating the best with the most deserving? Because if you're saying just the best, then it becomes really interesting, because now you're using eye test, you're using opinion, it's so subjective. And in that case, like I said on Twitter the other day, if Georgia loses a tight battle with Alabama, which I don't think is going to happen, but it wouldn't be shocking. It comes down to the wire. Alabama kicks a field goal with their great field goal kicker. They win the game 34-31. Georgia, which hasn't lost since the Fillmore administration, is going to be out. They're not going to be one of the top 4 best teams. Well, again, you shouldn't be saying best. You should be saying most deserving.
See, I think this person's question, the more interesting part of that would be if you added Florida State also winning the ACC. So you had the 2 undefeateds, the Pac-12 champion, and then it comes down to Texas, Alabama, Georgia, all with the 1 loss. Alabama, obviously SEC champion, but having lost to Texas, it gives them the decision to make. Are they going to leave the SEC out completely, or are they going to come up with the idea and say that we believe right now Alabama, or even I guess Georgia theoretically, is better than Texas, even though they lost to them back in week 2. We believe right now Alabama's the better team, so we're going to put them in over Texas. If you give them this option, it's easy. You put Texas and Alabama both in, and there's not really a decision to be made. It's you just take the 4 conference champions, and it's pretty simple.
Okay, conference champion is part of the criteria, but for the sake of this discussion, playing devil's advocate, why is it automatic that Oregon beating Washington in the rematch gets in over a 1-loss Alabama, a 1-loss Georgia, a 1-loss Ohio State?
Because they've had the committee has told us what they think of Oregon all year long. They've had them as the best 1-loss team all year long. They're not going to drop them suddenly.
He's not asking about the committee. He's asking about us. And we know that the resume, Oregon's resume is not better than...
I believe if Oregon beats Washington, I believe they have proven to be one of the 4 best teams. They deserve the spot. If your only loss is a 3-point loss on the road where you missed a field goal that would have sent to overtime on the final play of the game, like if that's your only loss and you redeem that by getting a win in the championship game, and plus the other, the win at Oregon State, other things, like I firmly believe Oregon deserves a spot.
Pac-12 started out really good. It fizzled by the end.
In his scenario, I would have Oregon as the number 2 seed. It'd be Michigan 1, it'd be Oregon 2, Texas 3, Alabama 4.
But the Pac-12 fizzled. Colorado started out like gangbusters, ended up sucking. Oregon State lost 4 games, and they're one of the better teams. Utah didn't live up to expectations. Arizona State was a young team under Dillingham. Arizona did step up. I'll give them that. Cal, Stanford, Washington State, USC ended up being a big disappointment. UCLA ended up being a big disappointment. It's not as strong. That resume is not as strong. But if I went eye test, and again, that's not the way it should be, right? It should be most deserving. We're all in agreement. You and I are in agreement, Eli, right? But if you went best, right now, who's playing the best? Oregon, to me, I look with my eyes, I go, whoa. Now, if they go out there and take care of business, like you said, against Washington, to me, if you're picking the best, absolutely. They're one of the 4 best. But Georgia, losing a tight game to Alabama, they're one of the 4 best as well. Michigan's one of the 4 best. Florida State, if they win, they're in. I don't care if Jordan Travis is not able to play. To me, they're still one of the 4 best. But that's when you get into the discussion if you're really looking at the 4 best. Texas, they lost to Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry. Neutral site. That's their only loss, and they would be the Big 12 champions. That's an argument. I mean, you could still argue Ohio State, but Ohio State didn't make the conference championship game, although there is precedent been set as far as that's concerned. A team not even winning their division getting into the playoff. Ohio State has 1 loss in the big house. I can't wait. Just please don't give me chalk this weekend. Just don't give me chalk. NFL, tonight, the Dallas Cowboys, your Cowboys, Eli, against the Seattle Seahawks, saw yesterday on ESPN where they ranked the top 5 quarterbacks right now in the National Football League. I think it was Dominic, what's his name? Dominic Foxworth. He had Dak Prescott number 1. I know Prescott's been playing out of his mind the last several weeks, but come on now. Number 1? Where would you rank Dak Prescott right now?
I don't.
He's not number 1, though, right? Come on.
No, I mean, again, the Cowboys, and I expect that they'll beat Seattle probably pretty easily tonight. Seattle is technically a winning team.
Right, 6-5, correct?
If the Cowboys beat them, they will no longer be a winning team. So technically the Cowboys still would not have a win over a winning team, a current winning team.
Right.
But at home, the Cowboys have been a dominant team, and especially when they play losing teams, and that's what they've done. They've beat up on a bunch of bad football teams at home. And yes, Dak's looked good in doing it, but that's beating up on a bunch of bad football teams on your home field. So I want to see him do it against, hell, even in Philadelphia at home. I'll do it against, and he played well against Philadelphia on the road, but they lose that game. So
you're waiting for them to get that one big win over a team with substance, and then you'll be sold on them. Is that what you're waiting for? Even though it's your favorite team?
Yeah, I mean their season to this point has been what the University of Memphis did.
Yeah, you made that comparison yesterday.
Only they have dominated the bad teams. They haven't had, other than Arizona, who they obviously lost to, but for this recent stretch here, like they've just beat the crap out of a bunch of bad teams. Since San Francisco, they haven't played anybody good, and San Francisco absolutely murdered them. So it's they played one team good. That was the Eagles. They lost that game. Mm-hmm. Now they get a second chance against the Eagles. They obviously don't get a second chance against the 49ers and these non-division opponents, but you get a second chance against the Eagles on your home field, where the Cowboys have the long home winning streak. So we'll see what happens with that one. The month of December is going to tell it for the Cowboys. You've got the Eagles, you've got the Dolphins, you've got the Bills. You've got this December schedule. Their next 5 games, I think, are all teams that are 500 or better, counting tonight with the Seahawks. So this is You don't get to play. You're no longer playing the Giants and Commanders right now. You got to play some good teams over this next stretch of 5 weeks.
That damn Bill schedule. My God, that Bill schedule. By the way, for the record, Mr. Foxworth, if the answer is not Patrick Mahomes, you're doing it wrong. I don't care if he's thrown some picks. Patrick Mahomes is at a different level than anybody else. I don't care what Brock Purdy's doing. I don't care that Dak's red hot. I love Jalen Hurts, one of my favorite players in the league. Jalen Hurts is absolutely way up there. I would put him number 2. I'd put Purdy 3. And then probably Dak's up. Josh Allen's made too many mistakes, but he's still easily a top 10 quarterback because he's capable any given Sunday. But Pat Mahomes is number 1. Don't give me Dak Prescott. Dak's hot. I like what he's doing, but Pat Mahomes is number 1.
The Lions I couldn't think of the other team the Cowboys. The Cowboys have Seahawks, Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, Lions.
Yeah, you're right. You'll get a true test. Also yesterday from the National Football League, Aaron Rodgers. Not full practice, but he was out there tossing the ball around. He's got a 21-day window. I don't play Aaron Rodgers. I think it's foolish if Saleh does that. Woody Johnson gives him the order to do it. Why? It's over. You're 4-7. Chalk this one up for being unlucky and see what happens. Plus, they got to make moves in the offseason. They got to strengthen that offensive line. It's a piece of crap right now. They will kill Aaron Rodgers. I know it's miraculous and it's a great story, but why?
I still don't think he's going to even be close to healthy enough to play. So
I don't think he's playing either. I don't think
there's going to be a decision to be made.
I think this is sort of window dressing. I mean, it's nice for his ego. It's nice for him just to get out there with the boys, toss the ball around. But I cannot see him in a game being chased down by some 280-pound lineman with 4.8 speed and then 4.5 speed, whatever it is, and then crush him. Because that was the question mark going into the season about whether they could protect him, and that lasted real long.
So I went over to Sunrise the other day, had a little breakfast. Went with the kitchen sink this time. Just one of those things you just need a little bit of everything, and that's what the kitchen sink is over at Sunrise. Gives you a little bit of everything. Of course, that's one of the many things you can get. Of course, the great biscuit sandwiches, the kitchen sink, their different breakfast bowls. They've got the Three Amigos tacos, all kinds of great things on the menu. Of course, you can enjoy one of their great Bloody Marys or a mimosa, any one of their other cocktails while you're over there as well. They do happy hour in the morning where they got a little special on some of those cocktails. So if you're not going to work that day, you can certainly enjoy some of those over at Sunrise, whether it's the original location, 670 Jefferson Avenue, or Sunrise East on Poplar Avenue in East Memphis. Of course, it's not just about breakfast. They've got a great lunch menu as well, including some great sandwiches like their bacon cheeseburger or the French dip, salads, and other things on that lunch menu that you'll find over at Sunrise. Again, 670 Jefferson Avenue, that's the original. And in East Memphis, Sunrise East, they are Sunrise, and you can find them online at sunrise901.com.
Went there a couple weeks ago. First time, only time I've had the kitchen sink. You talk about getting full from a meal. Man, that had everything. Obviously the name, but man, it was good stuff. All right, when we come back, we're talking Ole Miss. We're talking Ole Miss Memphis basketball, Ole Miss football. We'll do so with our buddy Brad Logan. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year. Featuring Titleist SM9 wedges tuned for precise contact, lower flight, and higher spin. Now $30 off. From Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards in any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Don't miss the Edwin Watts Golf Shops holiday special. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
Memphis' oldest restaurant, Coletta's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Coletta's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletta's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletta's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletta's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletta's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletta's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
Looking for your next car? Give Car Corner a try. Car Corner, located at 2653 Mount Moriah. They specialize in cars under $15,000. Bad credit? No problem at Car Corner. CarCornerMemphis.com. That's CarCornerMemphis.com. They even have cash cars under $7,000. That's Car Corner at 2653 Mount Moriah. CarCornerMemphis.com. Look for the building with the teal green roof.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Fall is in the air, and so are Choate's Early Bird Specials. Right now, receive $1,000 off the purchase of a new Carrier gas furnace. Carrier furnaces come with some of the best warranties in the industry, and Choate's has been professionally installing them for over 60 years. As a Carrier factory authorized dealer, Choate's also offers competitive financing solutions for you and your family. If your heating system is in good shape, make sure you take advantage of Choate's Early Bird Tune-Up Special for $60. This tune-up is an in-depth 20-point inspection to make sure your furnace is ready for the winter season ahead. So call 347-8086 to schedule your Early Bird Special today. And turn to the experts with Choate's and let our family serve your family.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. T-Dot was behind a stolen car a few minutes ago. People were rubbernecking as they drive by on Billboard's Parkway westbound at Kirby. It's still a bit sluggish over here on 40 westbound as you come past Abilene all the way up to Sycamore View Road, where we had that three-car crash earlier just past Sycamore View Road on I-40 going westbound. Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64. Shop local this holiday season. Go by and see them at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
It'll be 5-1 Memphis, 6-0 Ole Miss on Saturday, 1 o'clock at the Pavilion. Big game, regional battle. We'll talk about that along with Ole Miss football and all things Ole Miss with our buddy Brad Logan. He's a contributor to Inside the Rebels on 247 Sports. He's the host of the Believe in Ole Miss podcast and co-host of the Red and Blue podcast crew as well. Red and Blue crew podcast, I should say. You can follow him on Twitter at Brad Logan, COTE. And Brad joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Hey, Brad.
Morning, guy. Appreciate you guys having me on, and you know how much I appreciate it. Enjoy the city of Memphis at Sports 56. You guys do a great job, so I really appreciate the opportunity.
Well, thanks for joining us, Brad. So I saw your tweet about the Pavilion being officially a sellout for Saturday. Now, I know it's not going to be as crazy as it was last night in Fayetteville because they had 20,000 and set a record for their attendance with a bigger arena. But I can tell you this, and you know it, Eli knows it, and I know it, it's going to be rocking on Saturday.
It will be, and I'll be hard-pressed to know a time in which that arena has been that raucous. You know, we haven't seen that over the last couple of years under Kermit's tenure. Now, the first year he had a pretty good year. And then prior to that was the last couple of years of Andy Kennedy Sr. I don't know that we have seen an environment we're going to see on Saturday in the history of the Pavilion. And you know what? This Memphis-Ole Miss rivalry, and I do think it's a rivalry, has been fun over the last couple of years. Now you got Penny Hardaway, and then you got Chris Beard, two very proactive people in the college basketball community. And I expect a huge crowd, and I expect a great game. And now Musa Sisse, a guy that started his career at the University of Memphis, is going to be, of course, he was cleared. We learned at the end of the game, the post-game press conference, Chris Beard said that Sisse was actually approved. He was cleared minutes before tip-off, and that's why we saw him warm up. And then we would later learn that he was actually cleared prior to the game. A big win, by the way, over NC State in the SEC-ACC Challenge.
I just love the timing of the NCAA to approve a guy moments before a tip-off. Like, you couldn't have done it earlier in the day, maybe?
Yeah.
Like, it's just so, their stuff is so bizarre. What percentage of the fans in the pavilion on Saturday you think will be Memphis fans?
I think it'll be a large portion. I mean, look, Eli, you know this Ole Miss program, athletic program, as well as anyone. Ole Miss has yet to flip the switch to basketball. They're being forced to because Ole Miss is actually pretty good this year. So they're having to learn a lot of the players. And, I think Ole Miss is still kind of in football mode. But at the end of the Egg Bowl, I think everyone that Friday morning they woke up kind of shook the cobwebs off and said, okay, let's flip to basketball. And so now that Chris Beard is on campus and he has completely changed the culture, he's got a really good roster with Flanagan transferring in from Auburn. He's a terrific player. Jamin Brakefield had a career night against NC State. So, I think there'll be a nice collection of Memphis fans. This game didn't sell out until late last night, and there was a lot of single tickets remaining. But I expect a pretty good Memphis crowd. But, look, Ole Miss supports a winner when it comes to basketball. Now, they support football pretty much any time. But let them win in basketball a little bit. They'll be there. They'll be there Saturday. One thing to note, guys, and you may already know this, the state high school championships are being played Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Oxford. It's going to be a madhouse with a sold-out basketball arena. Louisville is playing Columbia in I think it's 3A action at Vaught Hemingway Stadium, which folks that know that the Pavilion and Vaught Hemingway share a huge parking garage.
Whoa.
It's going to be pandemonium there trying to get in there. So any Ole Miss fans listening to me, arrive early and get there as quick as you can because it's going to be tough sledding for parking.
Yeah, what time are those games? I knew they were playing them. What time are those games?
I think it starts maybe at 11 and then 2. So there'll be a game at 11, but the game at 2 is the one that pits Louisville, who's a really good. They're incredible. Tyrone Shorter's done a great job, and they're undefeated, and it's going to be a great game. So the problem with that is you've got the entire city of Louisville coming up Highway 9 to Oxford, and it's going to be something to see for sure.
How many years has Vaught Hemingway been the host site for state championship games in Mississippi? I always thought they were in Jackson.
They were always in Jackson, and then the MHSAA decided to rotate between Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Southern Miss.
Oh, okay.
And so, and then they had them at Southern Miss for quite a while because it was somewhat of a central location. Obviously, Jackson, the center of the state, would be the best, but Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium has seen its brighter days, and they're not now. And so, having the student athletes an opportunity for the high school level play at the college. The fields with the video boards and that sort of thing, that the MHSA would really like to do that more often. To answer your question, I don't know that it's been done more than twice, because it rotates so many, and they had it at Southern Miss so many years, and they had Jackson rotate in there as well. So, really good thing. The state of Alabama does this similar as well. I know they rotate Bryant Denny and Jordan Hare, and then I think it rotates maybe down to Mobile. So, yeah, just an opportunity for the guys to play on a big-time atmosphere.
We had Chris Beard on recently, and I forget, Eli, if we even broached the subject, but a question for either one of you two, if you know the answer. What is the series as far as the future is concerned? What's under contract, if anything? And then what is Chris Beard's feelings of keeping this rivalry going? Do we ask that to?
Yeah, he said he wants to continue to play it.
Yeah, he wants to continue to play it. Eli, do you know the specifics of this series?
I am not. I can't remember when they had to renew it last. I can't remember for sure.
I'm going to
exactly
ask.
what it was.
I'll ask Keith on Saturday.
Should it be played every year? Should it be played every season?
Look, I'm going to say yes. I don't know that everybody will agree with that. Memphis has a point because they're like, look, you want to play us in basketball, you need to play us in football, and Ole Miss will be vice versa. So we'll see. I'd love to see it play. Just for me, I'm a huge, Memphis fan personally, so I like to see it, haven't been able to cover it, but, we'll see. I think they should play.
Yeah, to me, it should be played every year. I mean, and certainly I could understand Memphis saying that, but football, there's a limited number of non-conference games. Like basketball, this is easy to fit in your schedule in the non-conference in basketball. So to me, it makes sense to play it.
Just out of curiosity, does Penny and the Memphis Brass, do they enjoy this game?
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think and I think if I remember right, Chris Beard said he had he's talked with Penny, like they have a relationship. So I know Kermit and Penny certainly had a good relationship. So I would assume from both sides they want to continue to keep playing it, and certainly I would think that it would continue to be played.
Hey, look, as long as Ole Miss shows a pulse in basketball, it's not an RPI. A bomb for Memphis, I don't know why they can't. Because Memphis is always going to be a top 25 team and maybe higher. The problem is Ole Miss is kind of ebbs and flows in hoops, so I can understand Memphis' trepidation.
If you didn't have to have a few of those bye games against, let's call it inferior competition, just to satisfy the amount of games you have to play at home for your fan base. If Penny could get home and homes with like every team in the SEC or every team in a Power 5 conference, he would do it. I mean, he's got a ton of them already on his schedule, but he would probably weed out some of those smaller schools and play more of them. So, yes, the answer to the question is absolutely he loves playing this game against Ole Miss. There's no question about it.
I remember looking at the schedule real quick, guys, and at one point it was like Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Ole Miss. It was like an SEC non-conference.
Texas A&M?
Yeah, A&M, yeah.
Missouri, they've already played. I mean, Memphis, look, Penny's reached out to everybody, not just SEC. So he wants to play the biggest names, the best names, and that strengthens their chances for a good seed in the NCAA tournament, Brad, as you know, because the American Conference is just not good. But moving on to Ole Miss football. All right, here we are. This is interesting. I was talking to Brett Norsworthy, of course, part of the broadcast team, and co-host of Sports Time on Sports 56 here on our station from 3 to 6. I was talking to him last night at the Grizzlies game, and I said, is there a chance Ole Miss can still get into his New Year's 6? And he was like, nah, I don't think so. And we know that Missouri's 2 spots ahead. For some reason, Penn State's in the middle. Penn State should be behind both of them. But I think, I don't know how it works. I don't know what the rule is and all that. But you talk about a team that's certainly deserving of a New Year's 6 is Ole Miss. But if it's not that, it's going to be more than likely the Citrus Bowl, Brad? Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, and there are worse things in the world than being disappointed you're playing in Orlando for bowl season. And it's a really good bowl game, and they do a wonderful job down there. They've been doing it for quite a while. But, yeah, I mean, I completely agree with Brett. He and I have had this conversation. And if you look at what Ole Miss did versus what Missouri did, Ole Miss loses on the road at Alabama 24-10. The fly in the ointment here is the committee is looking at Ole Miss played Georgia, the number 3 team in the country, late in the season and lost 52-17. You look over across the way at Missouri, they played Georgia and they only lost 30-21. And of course, Missouri also lost to LSU, which is a team Ole Miss beat. The metric I like, gentlemen, is the scoreboard. And for whatever reason, so many of these the people that are ranking teams are coming up with reasons about how teams will do this and why teams do this. Who beat who? Let's talk about who beat who on the scoreboard, and let's rank them accordingly. Penn State has no business ahead of Missouri or Ole Miss. And then I would make an argument that Ole Miss should be ahead of Missouri. But you know what? That's what they don't believe that. And if you look at who's going to play where, and I learned this. Sure, the teams have a little bit of a say. The SEC surely does. ESPN. The bowl teams have a say, but ultimately it's going to be the college football playoff that determines who goes where. And they're going to be determining who goes to the Cotton Bowl, which Ole Miss would love to go to the Cotton Bowl if they face Texas. I think Ole Miss would take 40,000 people to Jerry World to play Texas. I don't think Missouri will take anything like that, but that's kind of what we're hearing. It's Missouri would go there. You've got Tulane that is kind of hanging out there. You know what's going to happen there, which is the team that Ole Miss beat. The only loss on Tulane is docket was an Ole Miss win inside UOL Stadium down in New Orleans. So, it's one of those things where it doesn't really make a ton of sense, but if you really step back and look at it, Ole Miss won 10 games for the second time in 3 years. Lane Kiffin is the winningest coach since Johnny Vaught, and you're playing in the Citrus Bowl. That's not too much to complain about, if you ask me.
What has been the reaction around Oxford to Mississippi State hiring Jeff Lebby?
This is not my thought process, Eli, but most of what I've heard is you're getting a scaled down version of Lane Kiffin. And you saw what Ole Miss did, and so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go get a coach that's very similar to Lane Kiffin, coached under Lane Kiffin, his offensive coordinator, had a lot of success with Matt Corral, goes off to Oklahoma, takes Dylan Gabriel with him from UCF, and has a pretty productive time in Norman, and then they go after and they want what Ole Miss has. That's kind of what Ole Miss fans think.
Shocking, right?
So you're taking our leftovers is basically the attitude
Yeah,
they're taking.
that's the nice.
You're getting our sloppy seconds, man.
Yeah, I personally do not subscribe to that. I think that Jeff Levy was going to get a head coaching job eventually. I was a little surprised at Zach Selman. I'm not surprised he went the Oklahoma coaching tree, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a huge tie-in with Bob Stoops and the university. He was there and that sort of thing. So I'm not surprised by that. But with the way that Zach Arnett just completely lost control of the program from an organizational standpoint, I was a little surprised they didn't go get a sitting head coach regardless of what type of classification he was in. But they didn't, but I do think they got a very good offensive-minded coach. We'll see what he does from the defensive side of things. We expect Randy Clements, who Lane Kiffin fired, by the way, when he was on staff at Ole Miss. So you get Jeff Levy, who I'm not sure what that dynamic is with Lane Kiffin. I feel certain I know what Randy Clements' dynamic with Lane Kiffin. So let's just say the Egg Bowl just took another step up, and I don't know that we'll get Hugh Freeze versus Dan Mullen Egg Bowl, but I think we're going to get a little more enthusiasm than they had this year for sure.
All right, a couple of more moments with Brad Logan. We appreciate his time. Will the Rebels be able to retain Quinshon Judkins?
I think so. And here's something, too, we learned last night, that Ole Miss's best defensive lineman, J.J. Pegues, would be coming back.
Yes. That's
I
big.
expect Jackson Dart to return. And then I think another huge component of this is what's going to happen at the wide receiver room. Jordan Watkins is a player that transferred in from Louisville, led the team with 53 catches and had 3 touchdowns on the year, averaging over 14 yards a catch. The word is that he possibly could come back. You throw in the fact that Caden Prescorn, the tight end, the transfer from Memphis, who was phenomenal this year. Caden did a wonderful job. I think Lane will tell you he was really, really huge in the running game. There is word that he possibly could return. If he returns, then Ole Miss will return most of its production on offense. Offensive line is going to be an issue. They've got to go to the portal. They've got to hit the portal hard on Monday when it opens. And, that's a situation. But, yeah, if that key component of the offense returns, I expect Ole Miss to absolutely be in the conversation for a top 12 finish next year. The schedule's a little more conducive. Ole Miss had a top 5 schedule this year in regards to strength of schedule. Next year it's not as bad. So, yeah, I expect Ole Miss to be really, really good next year if they can maintain all those players. And from the conversations I've had in regards to NIL, they feel very, very good about their position, they being the Grove Collective NIL.
Yeah, speaking of the Grove Collective, by the way, the Matt Rule quote from yesterday that a good quarterback in the portal will cost you between $1 million and $2 million. With that said, Jackson Dart, to be able to retain his services, what do you think Ole Miss is paying Jackson Dart?
Honestly, I don't know. But I'm sure there are a lot of coaches and collectives around the college football world that are not going to be sending a Christmas card to Matt Rule for what he said for everybody to now you've got quarterbacks that aren't worth that type of compensation that are saying, wait a minute, now we've got Nebraska's coach saying this. So,
right.
Yeah. You expect everything to kind of, at some point, to kind of settle down. We're definitely not there yet. But he's just saying what's already known. But the unfortunate part about that is he said it, and now everyone's kind of looking at what that rule said.
I hear what you're saying, but it's not taboo anymore. These players are getting
Right.
paid. That's what it is. It's a free agency system that's out there right now. He is Brad Logan. He covers Ole Miss. He covers a lot of Mississippi sports, high school sports, even Mississippi State as well. But you can listen to him, watch him on these podcasts, the Red and Blue podcast. It's the Red and Blue Crew podcast. And he's the host of the Believe in Ole Miss podcast, plus a contributor to Inside the Rebels on 24/7 Sports. 247 Sports. You can follow him on Twitter at Brad Logan COTE. He's everywhere, for goodness sakes. And I'm sure he'll be at the Pavilion on Saturday. Brad, as always, thank you so much, my friend.
I appreciate you having me. And by the way, it's an honor to come before Harold Gray. I think nobody does a better job representing their bowl game. And by the way, when I grow up, I want to be just like Harold, because every time there's a big play on Saturday football, I get a picture of Harold with some player, and he saw the end of the game. He's got the greatest job in the world. But, no, he does a great job, and I look forward to to seeing everything that he does at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. It's going to be a fun game this year as well.
I hear you. I love the photos. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
Harold does have a good life.
Good life.
He gets to see us every week.
He got snowed out, though, last week.
That's a heck of a deal, first of all, just to come see us every week for 3 months, 4 months of the year.
How about getting snowed out?
Yeah, that's...
Last week, he ended up having to watch games under, electronic surveillance, right?
Yeah, the old snow. The snow will get you.
Snowmageddon. We'll take a quick timeout, or did you want to say something here?
No, I'm trying to find out what the current contract is with Memphis and Ole Miss.
Oh, okay. All right, we got one more segment to go. If you want to chime in on anything we talked about or anybody we talked with, we can do that in our final segment. Just a few minutes left. 360-8255. Hit us up. Sports 56 listener lines. Then hour 3. It will be Harold Grader and the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Memphis' oldest restaurant, Colette's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Colette's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Colette's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Colette's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Colette's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Colette's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Colette's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
It's all net. It's through the goalposts. It's a line drive over the center field fence. It's in the cup for a birdie. Your house has closed. All great things to hear, but you need real athletes to have success, or a realtor with fine-tuned business abilities to get you to the closing table with what you want when you want it. I'm Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors, and my clients have told me that I am that type of real estate athlete. My goal is to not only fully protect my clients, but to also have a winning transaction. I adapt to whatever the field conditions are. Rain, sleet, snow, bad inspections, low appraisals. Whatever happens, I'm on it. That's why people often say that when you want the job done, call Shell Done. Find out about my highly successful strategic marketing program with the Shellbucks option, and you will want me to be your point guard, your leadoff hitter, or your quarterback. I'm reachable at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. That's Shell Done Rosengarten, 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now.
Want to play a private country club but only pay daily greens fees? Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis is your place. You can now play a beautiful, challenging course for only $59 plus tax, including cards. Meadowbrook Country Club features champion Bermuda greens and now is available to everyone. A membership is only $350 per month and includes tennis, pickleball, and swimming, plus a great restaurant and bar. Golf Pro Mark can even fix you up with custom-made tricks on clubs. Call 870-394-4186 today for your Tuesday through Sunday tee time at Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis.
Spencer here with ATC Fitness. There's no better time of the year than now. Football and fitness go hand in hand in the fall. And with individual screens on each piece of cardio and multiple big screens throughout the rest of the club, you'll never miss a bit of the action watching your favorite team. ATC Fitness continues to be the Mid-South's choice for fitness, family-owned for 30 years, and proud supporters of Coach Silverfield and the Memphis Tigers. Join online at atcfitness.com. ATC Fitness, exercise your right to look good.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee must finance through Hyundai, Forte LXS, PE 694,095, MSRP 21,610, Sportage R722,7239, MSRP 28,715, EVP 560, 3393, MSRP 50,200, includes all rebates and incentives, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit, dealer stock only.
Got Jeff Allen here from Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah. Hey Jeff, you ready for the holidays with the season of giving back?
I'm ready to give out some great holiday gifts and save you some big bucks. Perfect for the holiday road trips, 41 MPG highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS $229 a month, $27.99 due at sign. signing, or a big family that needs more room? 2024 Kia Sportage LX with class-leading cargo room and rear seat leg room, $299 a month, $34.99 due at signing.
What about an EV?
2023 Kia EV6 Wind, 134 City, 101 Highway, MPGE, $379 a month, $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
The way they live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Everyone, welcome back. 8:51 the time. Final segment here in hour number 2. Coming up in hour 3, Harold Grader joins us for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. By the way, programming note, we'll do our Pick 6. Pick 6 will be early in the segment, so if you're out there and you want to try to get in and be that lucky caller, whatever number we end up going with, you're going to have to do it early because we're going to do that in our first segment. Then Justin Fuente, the former Memphis Tigers and Virginia Tech Hokies head coach, he will join us at about 9:25. In case you missed it last night, the Grizzlies get off to Schneid to get their first home win of the year. They take down the Utah Jazz 105-91 to improve to 4-13. David Roddy, Derrick Rose, both were put into the starting lineup by Taylor Jenkins, and they responded. Roddy 19 and 6 rebounds. D. Rose at 14 points and 9 assists. College basketball last night, it was Arkansas over Duke 80-75 in front of a sold-out 20,344. That's a new record at Bud Walton Arena. Tennessee, meanwhile, at North Carolina, the Tar Heels get the 10th-ranked Vols by the score of 100-92. This is an interesting note from the world of the NFL. And by the way, we will have the Cowboys game for you tonight right here on Sports 56, 98.5 FM, beginning at 7 o'clock. Seahawks at the Cowboys. Seahawks at 6-5, Cowboys at 8-3. Cleveland Browns will play the Rams this week. We know that Deshaun Watson has been lost for the season. They signed Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, who has a Super Bowl ring, to his credit, has been in and out of the NFL over recent years, more out than in. But he has been elevated already in less than a week from the practice squad to now second-team quarterback for the Browns. But he could be the starter because Dorian Thompson-Robinson, is still in concussion protocol. So Joe Flacco could end up being the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. But this stat is crazy. Notable players with exactly one touchdown pass this season. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, 109 attempts, one touchdown pass in his rookie campaign out of UCLA. P.J. Walker, who has been the backup in Cleveland, 111 attempts, one touchdown pass this season. So you lose Watson, you have two guys that have combined for 2 total touchdown passes, but Cleveland has won a lot of games and stays in games because of their great defense. Now, more than likely, Flacco's going to take over. Other notable players with exactly one touchdown pass this season, Devin Singletary, 1 attempt, 1 touchdown pass. Keenan Allen, 1 attempt, 1 touchdown pass. So I guess they're in good company.
Clint texts in, he says, with the news that 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers has been cleared to practice only 11 weeks after tearing his Achilles, why is it Brandon Clark, who tore his Achilles almost 9 months ago, is still out and not expected to return till late in the season, if at all? How can Rodgers recover in such a short time, whereas a much younger Clark has had a much longer recovery?
Rodgers uses magic coins. And voodoo.
Well, Brandon Clark's timeline is the timeline of like everybody that tears their Achilles.
Right.
Like regardless of age. I don't understand the Aaron Rodgers thing. I don't know if I don't.
There's people that don't believe he tore his Achilles.
Right? That's I don't think he's healthy enough to play in a football game, and I don't think he will be healthy enough to play in a football game at all this season. I don't know what did or did not happen, but I just don't. I'm not going to question Brandon Clark because Brandon Clark is on the same timeline pretty much as everybody else that ever tears their Achilles. It's pretty much a year. Usually a year is kind of the timeline to be back from an Achilles.
Yeah, I do believe the NBA at times milks injuries. I really do believe that. They're not milking Brandon Clark's injury. That is normal. But who's the football player, the NFL player, that came back quicker than most with the Achilles injury that they're trying to equate to Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you remember? Zach, do you remember?
Not off the top of my head, no.
See if you can find that out. It wasn't Cam. Was it Cam Akers? I'm trying to remember, but he came back a lot quicker.
I don't remember how long it took Akers to come back.
But it was quick. One of those guys, it may not have been Akers, but one was quicker than usual. But that is unheard of. And the texter's right. Aaron Rodgers is much older than Brandon Clark. I mean, obviously you have different doctors, but I'm sure they're both great surgeons. I don't think that has anything to do with it. There are people that don't even believe that it was an Achilles injury. I can't imagine that he's faking that. They're lying about that. It's some conspiracy that it really isn't an Achilles injury. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to play. I know he's out there and he's tossing the ball around now in practice. If he plays, I mean, it is a huge story. There's no question about it. I mean, he's the kind of mind over matter type dude. You know, he's probably doing unconventional things. But I don't know. Until I actually see it, that he's on the field and it's this miraculous comeback and he's tossing touchdown passes, then it's really nothing to address other than just to report what's happening, because I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one. I don't think there's like this modern miracle medicine that has been invented here in the last couple of months to turn around Achilles injuries in 3 months rather than a whole year.
Cam Akers did it in 6 months.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah, and I know Adrian Peterson, he came off of an ACL like last season, and he played the following season, and you couldn't tell that he lost a step.
ACL,
yeah, and this is Achilles. This is worse.
ACL is ACL now. Those things are much faster, but the average recovery time. This is from the NFL. The average recovery time from an Achilles is 10 to 12 months.
Yeah, right. Now, a Steven Adams injury, that could be 3 to 4 years. It's not an Achilles, but whatever the hell he has. That could be a 3 to 4 year recovery. I keyed. 'Tis the season for expressing thanks to your clients for their business throughout the year. Let Dinstall's create a sweet thank you for your clients and employees. From assorted chocolates to cashew crunch, Christmas tree pretzels, yum, and turtlettes. Let Dinstall's take care of all your holiday gift giving. For the family, for your friends, for your clients and employees. They've been putting smiles on people's faces for over 120 years. The best chocolate in the country. Call today. Let them create sweet memories for your holidays. 5 convenient locations. You can stop by Laurelwood, Germantown, Collierville, Pleasant View, or downtown. Get your Dinstall's for the holidays. Made in Memphis and enjoyed by the entire world. Coming up, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Does Harold know something that we don't? This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year. Featuring the TaylorMade Stilt 2 Carbon Woods that combine speed and forgiveness to unlock forgiveness. Now up to $100 off. And from Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards in any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
Case IH is a proud supporter of the Mississippi Farm Bureau, and thanks to a membership benefits partnership, Mississippi Farm Bureau members receive a discount of up to $500 on every qualifying Case IH tractor and piece of equipment you purchase. This discount may be used with other promotions, rebates, or offers. So join Mid-South Ag Equipment and the Mississippi Farm Bureau and pocket up to $500 in savings. Call Mid-South Ag at 662-890-3141 to get your discount today. If you love sports and Mexican food, you can get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Graham. Watch all the big games on all the big TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos and enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with lunch specials from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99 and margaritas start at $3.99. Experience real Mexican cuisine along with great sports at Los Cabos on Summer near Graham.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah. Sports 56 traffic.
Still a couple of minor accidents getting some attention out here. It's been in pretty good shape so far on 55 coming up through DeSoto County. Still a little bit of volume over here from time to time on Bill Morris Parkway 385 passing Ridgeway getting onto 240. Still crowded at times down certain sections of Austin P Highway headed towards the interstate. Weimer's Jewelry located 7525 Highway 64. Shop local this holiday season at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour brought to you by Acura of Memphis. It's time now for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Here are your hosts, Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Harold Grader.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour number 3 of the program, and each and every Thursday during the college football season, Hour 3 becomes the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Before we bring on Mr. Harold Grader, I want to remind you folks as you get your Thursday started, we're looking at some clouds today, 41 degrees, but the rain is a-coming, about a 40% chance this afternoon, and that increases to 90% chance tonight. We're looking at a low of 48. The rain could be around a half an inch. Tomorrow, overcast with rain showers and a high of 67. That chance of rain at about 60% tomorrow. Coming up in this hour, Justin Fuente, former Memphis Tigers, Virginia Tech Hokies coach, will join us at 9:25. And in just a moment, we'll have our pick six, our final pick six of the year. And for the, not the final time, but the final time with the pick six, Mr. Harold Grader joining us now with the big announcement coming up on Sunday. But of course, Harold, you're going to let the cat out of the bag right now. Who's playing in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game? How are you?
Doing very well, thank you. Good to see you guys. Glad to be back with you guys after a great Thanksgiving weekend. Letting the cat out of the bag. First of all, we have to catch the cat.
Yes, you do.
The cat isn't even in the bag?
We're still chasing the cat. We're still chasing the cat.
That cat's meowing a lot, man. He's running around in circles.
Yeah, and it depends on which cat we're chasing. And we're chasing several.
I got like 5 stray cats that come around my house all the time. You could put those in a bag and let them out somewhere else.
Well, when you think about it, it's kind of apropos because of the names we've been talking about. Speaking of cats, Auburn Tigers, Memphis Tigers, Kansas State Wildcats. Hawkeyes don't make sense, but not Hawkeyes, Cyclones. Excuse me, Cyclones. Yeah, Hawkeyes, Iowa. But anyway, there's some of the names that we're hearing.
Sure.
But again, what has to happen? The whole SEC deal for those who don't know.
To remind folks again, the selection process within the SEC. You have the playoff, the New Year's Six. Then after those selections are made by the CFP committee, the Citrus Bowl has its own solo pick. They're outside of the CFP. They're number one on the SEC selection order. Then you get to the SEC pool of 6, which we are a part of. The other 5 going west to east: Houston, Nashville, Jacksonville, Charlotte, Tampa. And within that pool, the SEC ultimately assigns us a team. So in the situation that we're in, where there are only 9 bowl-eligible teams, ultimately it's up to the SEC.
But you can give an opinion, right? You can.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So we will work through that process. There have been ongoing conversations all week. And we'll see what plays out on Sunday on that side. Same thing on the Big 12, but it's a little bit more traditional, clear-cut there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be headed to Dallas tomorrow for Saturday's Big 12 championship game, Texas and Oklahoma State. So when it comes Sunday for the Big 12, we have the 4th choice of teams after the CFP. And projecting right now, the Big 12 expects to only have 1 team up, to use that phrase that we all use within the bowl world. I think Texas probably wins the Big 12 championship, but we'll get into that in the Pick 6. I mean, Mike Gundy's on the other side, and you never know what's going to happen with Mike Gundy and a Mike Gundy coached football team. But after the CFP selection on the Big 12 side, then it's San Antonio, Orlando, Houston, then us. 4th choice. And as we look at that, the 2 teams that you mentioned, Kansas State, Iowa State, maybe even West Virginia, we think those schools will be on the table, and it'll be our decision, our choice of which Big 12 teams we select.
So when, obviously you guys know this well before it's announced, but when does that happen on Sunday? And I'm assuming Sunday, maybe not, maybe Saturday. When does it happen where you go, all right, they took them. Okay, here's who we're going to take.
On the Big 12 side,
yes.
They will call us. I think it's scheduled for like 2:15, 2:30, somewhere in that range.
On Sunday?
On Sunday.
Wow, so it is really all the way to the...
See, and the schedule on Sunday, doing this from memory, the CFP schedule is the semifinal games will be announced. The show comes on at 11. They'll do some setup and then of the show, and then they'll hit those 2 semifinal games. So 11:15, we'll know the Final Four, the playoff, and then a little bit later on, they will announce the rest of the New Year's 6 games. And then after that, because once those are set, the dominoes begin to fall, teams get plugged in, and then that's when the dominoes for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl will fall, and we'll know what's going on there on the SEC side. And then at 2:15 or so, we'll get the call, and we will be informed of what the 3 bowls ahead of us have selected, and then okay, here's who's left. Who do you want? And then it's off to the races.
Yeah, because they want to get most of that stuff done before the NFL games start with their show and everything else. They don't want to be trying to go.
It's a long show. I heard it was a 4-hour show.
They'll go again, but they want to get the first announcement done before the NFL games get started. But do you believe? What is the exact process for placing the teams in the New Year's 6 bowls? Do you know that?
Off the top of my head, no. As to what the order is, how they plug them in, I don't know that, Eli.
Do you believe there will be 3 SEC teams in the New Year's 6 on top of a team in the playoff?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too.
For a total of 4.
4,
yes.
I think more likely than not, it'll only be 3 up in the the playoff wrapped around the New Year's 6. Is there a chance there could be 4? If all heck breaks loose and there's a bunch of nuttiness, Friday night Pac-12 game, then Saturday with all the other championship games, that could happen.
It would benefit Ole Miss.
So we'll see. But realistically, I think most folks are projecting only 3 SEC teams up.
Okay. We need
so the 4th one of those, in all likelihood, would be the Citrus, is that what you said? Or whatever.
Yes.
The Citrus is outside of the New Year's 6.
There probably would take the one of those that didn't get up.
Yes.
Yeah, more than likely if Ole Miss doesn't get in, because you got to think right now, Alabama, Missouri, right?
Right.
Again, there's a lot still to be determined. If Ole Miss is on the outside looking in, we were just talking to Brad Logan, it would more than likely they would get picked for the citrus.
Right.
And then everybody else.
I think that's a fair.
Those 4 teams are in a group by themselves.
Right.
They're going to be one way or another. Again, if they all 4 got into the New Year's Six, then the citrus would have to take another one.
Right. I think it's a very fair assessment of the situation.
We need a caller to participate in our final pick 6 of the season.
Caller number 2, 360-8255, 360-8255. Caller number 2 gets a chance to go up against one of us for a chance to win $25 in piggy bucks from Central Barbecue. We haven't given away many piggy bucks this year. We've been the callers have had a rough year as far as trying to win.
Yes.
Right? What is the record?
Well, let me first of all update you on what happened 2 weeks ago. We didn't have a pick 6. Obviously, last week it was Thanksgiving. It was Dan going up against me. Unfortunately, Dan 2-4. I was 4-3. Eli was 3-3. Harold week high honors 5-2.
Ooh.
So you get the $1,000 gift certificate from your choice.
I'll take it.
For the year now, with that loss, the callers are 5-8.
When's the last time they won?
Let's see.
It seems like it's been a long time since a caller won.
Let's see. The callers have, 1 loss in a row. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've lost 6 in a row.
Yeah, see. I know I've been enjoying a lot of barbecue, so I want to give it away.
All right, so we got our second caller right now. So we've got one just called. Second caller, 360-8255. Again, you're ineligible if you've already played, whether you won or lost. 360-8255. Let's get going. We got our pick 6 coming up. Then we got Justin Fuente, who will join us. It's pretty easy. We got 6 games against the spread. You pick against one of us, and then we have a bonus pick at the end, your favorite pick, and that goes along into your final tally. But again, we've had fun with this. We always do. Unfortunately, I didn't make it what do we got, 9 championship games? Or 10, right? How many championship games do we have total? 10? It's 10 leagues, right?
Yeah.
Does everybody have a championship game now? I guess they do.
The MAC has one, Conference USA, Sun Belt, Mountain West.
Yeah, everybody does.
American. Yeah. So there's 10. Unfortunately, we can only do 6 because that's the name. The pick 6 didn't want to do the 10. We do have a caller on the line here. Once we get him on, we'll go ahead to it. But the games that we will not be talking about include some interesting games. The one that I am really looking forward to the most is the Conference USA Championship game. You have undefeated Liberty taking on New Mexico State. What a story with Jerry Kill.
Yep.
They have 10 wins, for goodness sakes. Just destroyed Auburn the other day, like last week.
Yeah.
And they're going to play. Liberty, if they win and Tulane gets beat at home by SMU, Liberty is more than likely going to the Fiesta.
Yeah. How about that? What a great story.
Yeah, so I would normally not be real interested in the Conference USA Championship game, but this one I'm intrigued by it.
When is it? What time?
That one is Friday. That's the first one.
Oh, it's Friday.
That's 6 o'clock.
On ESPN?
That is on CBS Sports Network.
CBS Sports Network. Okay.
And that'll be followed by the Oregon-Washington Pac-12 Championship. All right, we got Michael. Michael is joining us as the lucky caller number 2. Hey, Michael.
Hey, guys. How are you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. All right, Michael. Who are you going to go up against for the barbecue?
Greg, I am taking you out.
Wow. I like that.
He's called a shot. I hope you win the barbecue. But it has been a rough run for the callers, as we just talked about. 6 straight losses. All right. Again, we do this against the spread. We got the Friday night championship game. Harold?
Michael, don't worry about what the other 6 ahead of you have done. Enjoy the barbecue.
It's a tradition. It's a tradition. I hope you win as well. All right, Friday night. This is a big one. Oregon minus 9.5 versus Washington. They're all big, but this is the revenge game, the rematch game. Can Washington stay undefeated? Oregon, do they get into the playoffs with a win? Minus 9.5. That game is in Las Vegas. People are puzzled by the line. It's always customary to begin with Mr. Grader. Harold, how do you see the Pac-12 championship?
Boy, I'm looking forward to watching this one on Friday night. And, of course, Washington came from behind to win the first match. So this is a rematch. Oregon has won 6 straight double-digit margins.
Mm-hmm.
So they're putting up some pretty good numbers.
They are.
I like Bo Nix. I think he'll be one of the guys invited to the Heisman. don't know if he'll win it. I think it's quarterback from LSU personally. But Bo's, for him, great turnaround for his career. Like what he's doing there at Oregon. I am going to go with Oregon.
Okay, Eli?
I think Bo Nix still has a chance. I think this a type of performance, a big-time performance here could win him the Heisman
I think
Trophy.
he could win him if he has a big game.
I think he still has a very good chance of doing it. This to me is the only playoff game that actually is this week because the winner of this is advancing. The winner of this is going on. Not the other games. You cannot say that either team winning is advancing on. And so I think this is truly a playoff game. You said Oregon's been really, really good. However, 9.5 is just too many for me. I'm going to take Washington.
I can see that. I can see this being Oregon winning by 7.
We're come down to another field goal.
Yeah.
From the eye test, Oregon is certainly one of the top 4 teams right now in the country. There's no question about it. But I am not going to give up on Washington. I've liked them all season long. I love Michael Penix. They're getting 9.5 points, as Eli said. I'm taking the points. I'm taking Washington. Michael?
Well, Greg, here's where you go down. I am taking Bo Nix. Came from the SEC, and it just means more in the SEC. Left, go to the Oregon. I'm taking Oregon.
All right, so one right off the bat that we differ.
I think in the Pac-12 they say it means just a little bit more. Maybe not.
It means
just slightly more.
No, I think it means we only have 2 teams remaining.
I was just going to say that. You beat me to it. All right, guys, speaking of the SEC, does it mean more for Georgia or Alabama? Georgia, 6-point favorite in Atlanta. Eli?
I mean, Alabama has been playing really good until last week. That's still bizarre to me. Maybe Georgia should put Hugh Freeze on staff for this game since he's the one that seems to know how to do things against Alabama. I'm taking Georgia. I just believe in them. I think they continue to roll. Carson Beck's been fantastic. I'm going with the Dogs.
As much as I like Alabama, my daughter, like your daughter, Harold, she's attending. My daughter graduated from there. I can't take Alabama, even though, I wouldn't be shocked if they upset Georgia. Georgia's just too good for, even though Georgia is vulnerable, I think, this year as opposed to the last couple of years. We haven't really seen that vulnerability come through. I'm taking Georgia less than a touchdown. Michael?
I've been back and forth on this game several times, but I'm going to go with Georgia.
Okay. Harold?
It was disconcerting if you're an Alabama fan or Alabama follower to see it seemed as if that Alabama team regressed last week, making mistakes that they were making earlier in the year. The bad snap, the pre-snap penalties and things like that. They got a lot to have figured out this week. They're getting 6. I'm concerned about the Georgia pass rush against Milroe. He's got to. They all have to come with their A game because let's face it. I think Georgia's the best team in the country. Alabama's getting 6.
Alabama's getting 6.
I am going to take the Crimson Tide and the 6.
Whoa, okay. SMU, Tulane, it's the American Conference Championship game. It's at Tulane's home stadium, Yeoman Stadium. SMU gets 5.5, but they lost their starting quarterback, Preston Stone. I pick first in this one. I think that's a big loss for SMU. They can hang in there, but I think Tulane wins by a touchdown. I will give the 5.5. I'm going to take Tulane. Michael?
So I'm an Ole Miss fan, so I've seen Tulane personally, and I can tell you this, that Tulane's a good team. I'm going to take Tulane.
Harold?
Yeah. You mentioned the quarterback being out for SMU, so does that mean they're going to have to run the ball more? Well, if so, Tulane's pretty tough against the run. And they're at home. They're the number 5 scoring offense in the country. Tulane.
Eli?
Yeah, Tulane's had a lot of close calls, like against some bad teams, too. They've won these 2-point games, 3-point games, but last week, step up in competition, had to have a must-win game against UTSA, and they performed well there. They win that one by 13. I think what you just said, too, Harold, that defensive front for Tulane, they're tough to run against. Ole Miss couldn't run against them. Judkins couldn't really run against Tulane. With the quarterback out, I'm surprised this line isn't bigger, didn't take a bigger jump. Absolutely, Tulane.
Yeah, I thought that line would jump up. Clean sweep, then. We all take Tulane. Louisville gets 2.5. They're coming off a loss to Kentucky in the rivalry game. They're playing Florida State in Charlotte for the ACC championship. Michael.
So I'm going to take Florida State in this one.
Harold.
Yeah, the Tiger in me can never pick Louisville.
Eli.
Never. So Florida State and our friend Mike Norvell, more importantly, going with my friend Mike Norvell.
Yeah, this I think this line, I thought it would be a little bit bigger than this, and then there might be a decision, but at less than a field goal, I got to take Florida State.
Clean sweep for Florida State in the ACC championship. We go to the Big 12 championship in Arlington. Oklahoma State, I may have misspoke earlier and said Texas Tech for some reason, but Oklahoma State gets 14.5 versus the Longhorns. Harold.
Ooh, that's a bunch, especially for a Mike Gundy team. I kind of referenced this earlier. You never know what he is going to pull out of the bag, and I would think that they will go deep into the bag of tricks and the playbook on Saturday morning. Texas, the rhetorical question, is Texas back? Yes, and it will be a resounding and very emphasized yes after they win the championship game on Saturday. I'm taking Texas, despite the 14.5.
Eli?
Yeah, Oklahoma State's I'm a little there with the line being as big as it is, but Oklahoma State's pass defense is bad. Like 113th in the nation, bad pass defense. I think Texas throws the ball all over them. Texas is trying to be as impressive as they possibly can, just in case things happen. They want to make sure that they put their best foot forward for the committee. So I'm taking Texas.
I would probably, if it wasn't where Texas really has to show off for the committee and still may not get in, I might take the points, but there's no chance. They're going to run it up as much as they can. Give me Texas. Michael?
In Arch Manning's last game in that color of orange, we're going to take Texas.
All right, Big Ten championship. All right, we got Michigan minus 23.
What are you saying, Michael?
He is going to the Vols, baby.
Michigan minus 23 versus
Oklahoma State.
Offensively challenged Iowa Hawkeyes in Indianapolis. Eli, Big Ten championship.
Well, this comes down to one thing. Do you believe Michigan can score 24 points? Because I don't think Iowa's going to score. I do believe that even against that Iowa defense, Michigan can get to 24, so I'm taking Michigan.
Michigan 38-3 is my prediction for this game, so yes, I'm taking Michigan. Michael?
So, Greg, this is where the rubber meets the road.
Oh,
I'm taking Iowa.
Oh, baby.
You're hoping for a, 20-0?
I think the Iowa defense is not going to allow. I think Michigan's going to win, but they're not going to get the point.
I'll tell you, if Iowa limits Michigan like 17-0 game, 20-0 game, all those dudes should be first-round picks in the NFL. Like, they're the only guys that play defense in the country. Harold, who do you got?
Michael, to borrow a phrase, this is where the barbecue hits the table. Right? If the note I saw about Michigan is right, and I was looking at this late last night, so maybe I was cross-eyed and blurry-eyed, Michigan is number one in the country in scoring margin with 27.
I would assume that's probably right.
I think that's what I thought I saw last night. So just looking at the numbers, I'm not going to say I'm going out on a limb because this is a blowout game, Michigan.
All right, so the two that we differ, Michigan and Iowa, Michael, and Oregon, Washington. Now our best play, our best bet. I'll start it off. I'm going to take Tulane as my best play. Harold?
Texas.
Eli?
Yeah, I'll go Tulane.
And Michael, your best play?
I'm going to go with Georgia.
Georgia, there we go. Hey, Michael, thanks for listening. Thanks for getting in, my friend, and best of luck to you.
Happy holidays, buddy.
Happy holidays to you as well.
Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, Michigan is number 1 in scoring defense and number 13 in scoring offense. So I would assume
that translates to
the biggest margin.
Yeah. This just in, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
When we come back,
I've heard that.
Justin Fuente, he was pretty good at Memphis, went on to Virginia Tech. The former head coach will be joining us next. This is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour on Real Sports Talk Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
The Black Friday sales event is on, and you better run, not walk, to Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. Plus, Gossett's got no payments for 90 days. That's right, 90 days, no payments. Take your pick, 2023 Dodge Charger SXT or 2023 Dodge Challenger SXT, $6,000 off MSRP. Or check out 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn, seat 6, 6,750 pounds towing capacity. We Gossett at $11,000 off. And if we don't have what you're looking for, Gossett can order it today. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike, or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Charger PH 50 8657 MSRP 35960. Challenger PH 596577 MSRP 36345. Ram PN 523262 MSRP 55755. Financing and deferred monthly to well-qualified buyers through Chrysler Capital or Stellantis Financial Services. Take retail delivery by 11/30/23. Includes all rebates and incentives. 695 PF. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit dealer stock only.
Be the change you want to see. Join the Memphis Police Department. Salary starting at $54,611, increasing to $60,713 after probation. Benefits include a $15,000 sign-on bonus, up to $10,000 in relocation assistance. Other incentives include pension, health, vision, dental, and life insurance, 25-year retirement, take-home cars, over 75 specialized units. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
The Shelby County Sheriff's Office is looking for people just like you to answer the call and start your career as a corrections deputy. If you have a high school diploma and our community is your calling, visit scsocareers.com today.
They call us Big Shelby. We're one of the highest paid in the region.
You don't have to have a degree.
The pay here is wonderful. The benefits are wonderful.
I'm really financially stable. I'm able to do everything that I want to do.
Yes, I feel very appreciated.
Are you up to the challenge? Visit scsocareers.com today.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
Year-end means huge savings at Gossett Kia on the Pike with the season of giving back. How about 41 MPG for those holiday road trips? 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $229 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Family road trip, 2024 Kia Sportage LX with class-leading cargo room and rear seat legroom, $299 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And get where you're going for less in a 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, 134 City, 101 Highway MPGE, $379 a month, $49.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. Plus a free Charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee. Must finance through Hyundai, Forte LXS, PE 694,095, MSRP 21,610, Sportage R722, 7239, MSRP 28,715, EVP 560, 3393, MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit dealer stock only.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Now, more of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Here are your hosts, Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Harold Grader.
I want to thank everyone again for your participation in the Pick Six. Another season wrapping up this week. We'll do it again next year. And without further ado, as promised, it is our treat to be joined by the former head coach of the Memphis Tigers, the Virginia Tech Hokies. He is Justin Fuente, who you can follow on Twitter at Coach Fuente. And Justin joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Coach, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you all doing?
We're doing good. Doing good. The last time I saw you was last year at the First Responder Bowl. You were doing broadcasting. So I know you were saying that you were kicking back, relaxing, enjoying life, enjoying time with the family, doing some broadcasting. What have you been doing this year? And the big question is, when are you ready to get back into this coaching world?
Oh, from what I see in the coaching world, y'all can have it right now. There's not a lot about it that I like or even recognize anymore. But what I've been up to is being a dad. You know, we're in the perfect sweet spot. We've got 3 kids that are all active in their activities, and none of them can drive themselves to any of the activities yet. So, like, I'm just a professional Uber driver. But I've gotten to see my kids participate in sports and school plays and, a lot of things that I've missed over the years. I've really enjoyed that. Like, this weekend is full up with volleyball tournaments in the Dallas area with my middle child. So I do take some time myself to work out and do a little fishing and play a little golf. So staying plenty busy, but to answer your question, that coaching deal, boy, it's an interesting dynamic right now.
Are you going to be doing any broadcasting, by the way, for bowl season this year?
Yeah, I've got the First Responders Bowl again because it's just down the road here from my house. And then I'm going to do the Sun Bowl. I was going to do the Sun Bowl last year, but if y'all remember about a year ago, Southwest Airlines had a big snafu with logistics and all that kind of stuff, and that kind of wiped me out of as much as I wanted to drive to El Paso from.
It's a beautiful drive, Coach.
Yeah, from Dallas. I went ahead and passed on that, but I'm supposed to go down and back for the Sun Bowl this year as well. So Sun Bowl and First Responders.
So when you talk about the coaching situation, I assume you're referring mostly to NIL, transfer portal, kind of the free agency. Is that what, I guess, the big turnoff is right now from your perspective?
Well, I think that's part of it. And, I mean, again, what I don't want to be is the old guy in the lawn, out on his front lawn yelling at people to stay off his lawn. You know, like, I'm not that way. I understand we have to change, but there's just a larger problem here. And that's that nobody's in charge. Nobody's in charge of college football. And, like, what are we actually trying to accomplish here? And I think we know what college sports started out to be, and it has changed. Some for the better, some for the worse. And the primary thing that's changed is the money, right? Coaches get paid way too much money. Now players can get paid, which I'm not against. But we have no foundation for what we're trying to accomplish. We're like half in the pro game. We're half in the collegiate game. We're half in the playoff. Mm-hmm. We're half in the bowl system. There's nobody actually in charge. We have teams on both coasts in the same league. I mean, I just think there's a lot to it that it would be nice if, and I'm optimistic that in the future that we'll figure this thing out. It's just I don't know who's going to do it and from what position, because right now there's nobody in charge. The NCAA is obsolete. They have no power. Although I do hope that whatever power they do, they wield on Michigan, because that's overt cheating.
Right.
But it's just an interesting time. And, that's the transfer portal and the financial part for players. There's some good in that, but it is so crazy and so absurd, and there's nobody in charge that it's just not real appealing right now.
Justin, this is Harold Grader. Good to hear your voice. Glad to hear you're enjoying life. I'm going to be in Dallas for the Big 12 championship game, and our mutual friend Brian Estridge wanted me to pass along a hello to you. Brian is the radio voice of TCU, and also I think works with Justin on these radio broadcasts, right, Justin?
Yeah, he's kind of taking me by the hand. He was, when I was at TCU, he was there. Obviously, he's been there for a long time. He's a good friend of mine. And we could not live any farther apart and still be in the Metroplex in terms of just distance. But he's kind of taken me by the hand and spoon-fed me a little bit on a couple of these ball games, on calling these games. And I've really enjoyed it. I appreciate his patience with somebody like myself that really has no idea what they're doing. It's just sitting around watching a ball game and talking about it. But it's been really fun, and he's a really, really good man.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Are y'all living at the lake?
No, we are in just east of Allen, Texas, which is on basically the northeast side of the Metroplex, and we are not far from the lake, though.
Gotcha.
So we don't have a house on the lake yet, but we are just I don't know. I'm probably from the boat ramp. I'm probably 6.5 miles.
Yeah.
I can get them.
Justin, you got to catch up. Every other coach that I know has a lake house.
I can tell him I can get that house on a lake.
Well,
there's some job openings out there, Coach.
It's a matter of time, boys. You just got to take the time. I got to figure out, like each summer, my wife and I and our kids, we take the boat and we go to a different lake.
There you go.
We're in Grand Lake in Oklahoma. We've been to Granbury, southwest of the Metroplex. We're just testing them all out.
There you go.
Which one we like. It's just a matter of time before I take my time on this kind of thing.
Hey, you mentioned Michigan and about the penalty, and we know the Big Ten penalized Harbaugh. If you call it a penalty, he ends up missing half the games, 3 at the beginning, 3 at the end. It makes no difference. And you said that the NCAA should come down hard. You coached. You coached in Memphis. You coached at Virginia Tech. You've been assistant coaches and coordinators at other places. What is okay? Because we know that sign stealing happens at a lot of places. What is okay and what is not okay? And what if you were the czar that made all the decisions on discipline? What would you do to Michigan?
Yeah. Well, the first thing is, I think anybody that gets a microphone in front of their mouth and says that this was not an advantage doesn't know the first thing about football. Okay, they're just showing their own ignorance. Okay, so what's okay and what's not okay is pretty simple, really. So there's always been this, especially when teams started going no huddle, this thing of, well, man, they're signaling all their plays in. Bo Schembechler used to whisper the play in the receiver's ear. He would run in there into the huddle, tell the quarterback. They play a little game of telephone, and they call the play and go to line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now teams no huddle, so it's all signal. And I've been complaining about this forever. Like the NFL, you can talk straight to the quarterback. Like why we haven't been able to get this done. I watch college baseball, and they can talk to the catcher. We haven't. We're far behind the times when it comes to the communication part. But anyway, so when you think about the Michigan situation, so ever since people started going to huddle, there's been this activity of people trying to chart the play with the signal, okay? And then even to take it a little further, you go through all the TV copies and see if you can pick up 1 or 2 signals on the TV copy and match it to the play. You may even pick up the phone and call another school and say, hey, do you have a couple signals? Do you know anything that's going on? Okay, the bigger staffs, the teams with the bigger staffs have the best opportunity to do this because, the offensive coordinator doesn't have time to chase all this crap down during this. You know what I mean? You need to get some grunts out there that can go chase all this stuff down. Well, we never, to be honest with you, we sucked at it because we never had a staff big enough to give that responsibility to anybody, so we never had any of it. But we knew that other teams with big staffs certainly did. But and that's kind of that's not illegal. It's not against the rules, okay? But when you what is clearly against the rules is sending people to other people's games. When you cross into, like, it is blatantly clear that is cheating. That you are not allowed to go scout other teams. You're not allowed to go send people to other games. You're just not allowed to do it. And when you have an entire network of allegedly of people traveling around, either recording or writing down, or however they did all this stuff to other teams' games, like that's no longer a gray area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is thumbing your nose at the rules at football. Okay, like buying a player is thumbing your nose at the NCAA, or it used to be. But this is thumbing your nose at the sport of football. And for those of us that love the game, as you know, the coach at Michigan professes to do, it's disappointing and disgusting. I quite frankly, it bothers me, you know, that it's gone on and that some people treat it like it's no big deal.
Yeah.
It is a big deal. It's a huge advantage to know what the plays are.
Do you? I've said from the beginning. I've said they should have been banned from the postseason. Do you believe that?
Well, I don't know. Again, I'm kind of like the guy that's just complaining about the problem that's not given the solution, which, you know, I hated with my assistant coaches. I'm like, everybody can pick out the problem. Like, let's get some solutions. I don't know what the penalty should be. I mean, not showing up to 3 games but working all week with the team is a ridiculous penalty. I mean, that's just like absurdly light. You know, I'm hopeful, but also I know the Big Ten felt pressure to get something done, and I don't know what the equivalency should be. I have no idea. I just you know, I can't believe that we could allow that type of overt thumb your nose at the game cheating to go on.
I hear you.
And Justin, along that line, when the head coach is there all week during the preparation that obviously matters, on game day, not having the coach there, how much does that actually impact the game?
Not very much. I mean, if it comes down to a 2-point conversion, go for it or not. You know, like, I guess, or 4th downs. I mean, there's some small game management to mess them up every single way possible that you can make in the game. But, you know, the hay is in the barn by the time you kick it off.
Exactly.
You know.
Let me ask you about this debate. And I don't even know why it's a debate about this. And of course, this will be the last year. We got to worry about a 4-team playoff. We start the 12-team playoff next year. But the debate has been the 4 most deserving versus the 4 best. Bill Hancock comes out and says, well, it's the 4 best, but we all know that it should be the 4 most deserving, right? Doesn't that make sense? But I wanted to ask you, and I'm not sure how much football you've actually been able to watch while doing all the kid duties, but who are the 4 best teams going into the playoffs, or not the playoffs, but the conference championships this weekend? And then what about the debate between deserving and best?
Yeah, well, this is a whole nother, I mean, like, it's very difficult, obviously, right? The 4 most deserving versus the four best. I mean, if we're just going to go on what somebody thinks is the best team, then why are we even play the game?
Right.
I mean, yeah, TCU beat Michigan, by the way, partially because they knew about the scheme, the signal scheme, and they basically tricked them for half of the game, and because they had a whole month to prepare for the game, but then get boat raced by Georgia, which is unfortunate, right? Like, we all wanted to watch a great national championship game, but TCU damn sure deserved to be in there,
right?
You know, like, so, you know, and there's so many things, like the Jordan Travis deal, which is awful. Like, by all accounts, one of the best people, you know, in college football. Great kid, been through, you know, is hurt. And does that affect Florida State? Absolutely. But if they went out, they need to go. You know, are they as good a team as they would be with him? No, they're not. But also, you know, they deserve to be in. The other thing is, like, the opposite end of that is, how much better is Alabama right now than they were when they started the season?
Yeah.
You know, like Florida State, you could argue, is probably not as good as they were early in the year, or certainly with Jordan Travis. But Alabama has kind of figured out who they are with that quarterback, and all of a sudden is a much better team than they were when Texas beat them early in the year. All this leads to a very complex situation, right? Like, let's try and figure out the 4 teams that deserve to go, and put them in there. And I don't know who those are. I'm not like, if I was charged with that, if I was on that committee, I damn sure would have an opinion on it, because I'd be pouring through that film, and I'd be watching it and paying attention to it very closely. I don't know. I'm going to cop out on the answer. I've enjoyed the Pac-12, the last year of the Pac-12 this year, because there's been some fun teams and fun games late at night on. But, I don't know. It's fun for us to talk about. I like this part of it, though.
I do, too.
You know what I mean? Like, I like this. Like, I think it's, and it'll probably always be, when they expand it, we'll talk about the teams that didn't get in. But I don't know. It's a fun part of what's going on, and you get 12, sometimes 13 opportunities to prove that you deserve to be one of those teams. It's just, you'd like to know how they really figure it out when they're in the middle of the meeting, right? Like, who really knows what's actually going on and who doesn't? And like, what's the makeup of that? You've all been in meetings where there's a bunch of people in there trying to figure something out. Like, I'd like to be a fly in the wall.
That's your next job.
Trying to figure that.
I found your next job. That's your next job.
I'll take it right now.
Get Coach Fuente on that
Bill Hancock is leaving. You could take over his job.
I want Coach Fuente for that, and to be the czar of college football. I think he has a lot of good answers. He is also going to be on the call as an analyst for the First Responder Bowl, and as he mentioned, the Sun Bowl. Hopefully there's no issues with travel. He is former Tigers head coach, former Hokies head coach Justin Fuente. You can follow him on Twitter at Coach Fuente. We got to do this again, Coach. There's a lot of topics we didn't even get a chance to talk about, but listen, thank you as always. Happy holidays to you and your family. Enjoy the games, and we'll talk soon.
Hey, anytime, guys. I appreciate you having me on. It's nice that somebody wants to talk every now and again. So if you need me, you let me know, okay?
We will. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Justin.
Take care.
Folks, this year when it comes to Christmas, if it's jewelry that you're looking for, well, you need to head over to Genesis Diamonds. They've got a great deal. Of course, the selection is always amazing. The prices are always amazing. But even now, they're making it easier on you because you can get up to 5 years, zero interest financing at Genesis Diamonds for this holiday season. So whatever it is, whatever that dream piece of jewelry it is for that special someone on your Christmas list, go check it out. Go find it at Genesis Diamonds, and then you can take advantage of up to 5 years, zero interest financing, whether it be an engagement ring, whether it just be some other great piece of fine jewelry. The folks at Genesis Diamonds are there to take care of you. They got the biggest selection, the best prices, and now 0% financing for up to 5 years. You can find Genesis Diamonds in the Poplar Commons Shopping Center. That's at Poplar and Perkins Extended. They're right there in the middle of the shopping center. For your Christmas needs, for those wish list needs, for that special someone, see them at Genesis Diamonds.
All right, one segment to go. Final thoughts from Mr. Grader as we get ready for Selection Sunday. That's coming up next. You're tuned in to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour here on Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Pizza lovers and sports fanatics, Ferraro's Pizzeria is your Sunday ticket headquarters. Catch every pro game on multiple big screen TVs while enjoying $2 beers, $9 beer buckets, and mouth-watering pizza. We're talking the cheesiest, most delicious New York pizzas in town with all your favorite toppings. What are you waiting for? Grab your family and friends and get to Ferraro's, corner of Jackson and Main, just east of the Pyramid. Enjoy every pro game at Ferraro's Pizzeria and Cheesy Corner, your game day destination.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year. Featuring the Ping G430 drivers, which combine the ultimate combination of distance and forgiveness. And from Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards in any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
Let's end this year with a bang with Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. You want huge savings? We Gossett. The awards keep coming for the world's first and best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV, 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, 420 total range and PGE. We Gossett at $299.96 a month. Plus, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, buy for $26,850 or $379 a month. Plus, IIHS top safety pick in seat 7, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, $32,185 or $399 a month. All equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike or 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ062 MSRP 44,355, 84 months, 500 military and conquest or loyalty rebate. Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33,185. Sport RU 00104, MSRP 27,850. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701 or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Now, more of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Here are your hosts, Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Harold Grader.
Earlier in the show, Sports 56 Mornings, we were talking about some of these quarterbacks that are leaving. They're going to jump into the portal. Officially can do that on Monday. You already have Max Johnson announcing he's going to North Carolina. I just saw this. I didn't hear anything about this, but I just saw Spencer Rattler is leaving for the NFL, which makes a lot of sense. I think that guy could be a surprise in the NFL. I'm not saying he's turning into Pat Mahomes, but I think this guy could be a decent quarterback.
Yeah, he has shown that. Kind of a, what you just said, maybe kind of a Josh Dobbs, maybe even better version of a Josh Dobbs, but that kind of can throw it, can run.
Yeah, he's
nice
just not
mix.
been consistent, but I think he has a good arm and good feel for the game. All right, so go ahead, Eli.
Well, I was going to add, this is the first time you've been on with us since the announcement came from the Fred Smith family.
Right.
About the donation, and we now know kind of where Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium is headed. It's going to be the University of Memphis. You guys, I guess, will become tenants of the University of Memphis rather than the city.
Yep, we will have a new landlord.
Memphis, but just wanted to get your thoughts on this, and obviously the Fred Smith family once again stepping up and doing good within this city to help out.
Obviously, any improvements to the stadium helps all of the tenants. Obviously, University of Memphis, us at the bowl game, Fred Jones at the Southern Heritage Classic, just the overall community as well. So we're all in favor of enhancements, improvements, renovations to the stadium, to the fan experience, all of that. That's great. I think the expectation is, until someone says something differently, all through this process, through this year, the expectation has been, if they got everything lined up, and it appears that they have, that sometime in January, probably, if that timeline is still in effect, down she goes on the west side of the stadium, and those renovations will begin. So that's exciting. It's, again, good for everybody. Can't say enough about Mr. Smith and the Smith family and their dedication to this community. We know they are football people, and they're a football family, and thank goodness for that. And, it goes well beyond the game of football and facilities, but, between the company and the Smiths personally, you just can't say thank you enough, and the impact that Mr. Smith has had and the family continues to have.
On everybody in this community,
absolutely.
and a lot of people around the country and around the world.
Yeah.
All right, so as we close things down, Sunday we will find out who's playing in your game. Yep. But, of course, people can snag some tickets right now.
They sure can, and we have operators standing by and also sitting at the world headquarters of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and we will be fully staffed at the office all the way through. So this weekend, even today, you can call us 901-795-7700, Ticketmaster.com. We don't know how things are going to play out, but if you wear blue and you want to hedge your bets, give us a call. You never know.
Are the lazy ones, are they the ones that are sitting? Are they lazy? And the ones that are,
I don't say lazy. Maybe there's a... Where does it ergonomics?
I just rotate. I think they rotate some hours.
Yeah,
we have to take a standing shift and a sitting shift.
You know what? I'll take note of that, and we'll work on that. Who wants to stand? Who wants to sit?
Of course, a week from Saturday, you got your high school.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot going on. Obviously, Selection Sunday is happening. Also Sunday, our two all-star teams, the red team, the blue team, report over to MUS for first day of practice. We're going to feed them a great central barbecue meal after practice on Sunday.
It's like they won the pick six.
There you go. Maybe so.
At least somebody's getting central barbecue.
And then for the rest of the week, one team will be practicing at Collierville High School, the other at MUS. Then it all culminates with a great luncheon a week from Friday at the Hilton Garden Inn in Germantown with a great meal provided by our friends at Germantown Commissary. And then game day a week from Saturday. That is the 9th, correct? 2:30 at MUS, the 21st AutoZone Liberty Bowl High School Football All-Star Game. Come on out, support these young men, and we're looking forward to it.
All right, HD, we're looking forward to the announcement on Sunday.
Sir.
We appreciate it, folks. That'll do it for us for now. We want to thank, of course, Justin Fuente for joining us on the program, Brad Logan as well, and, of course, Harold Grader. Tomorrow we're back starting bright and early at 7 a.m. to wrap up the work week. John Varlas, Houston High School, into the state championship in Class 6A in Tennessee. We'll talk about that and other things. Aaron Torres as well is going to join us. He's in Fayetteville after the Hogs' huge win last night. We'll talk to him about college basketball and the Memphis Ole Miss game on Saturday. Brandon Lang will join us, plus 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. It's all coming up on the show tomorrow. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For Eli, for Harold, for Zach, I'm Greg. Have a great day, everybody.